Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan. Whoopee!
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 508.
Happy birthday, Tom! Yeah! 7. He's 37.
Told you not to talk about it.
Why not? It's a big deal,
Can we
man.
take this man to an Applebee's and get a proper birthday song for him?
You're right. Happy
Club Bees.
birthday.
I realized something earlier today that I may have turned into a grumpy old man boss.
You just realized that?
And the fact that I got here this morning and then I saw a balloon and a cupcake on my desk. And then Daniel quickly said, he's like, I told Travis not to do it. He's like, I told him that stuff makes you grumpy. I'm like, goddamn.
That's a quote.
Am I such a monster that a fucking balloon and a cupcake?
Wait, once a monster, always a monster. That's what I heard.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
With the
Now you're just a grumpy old spinoff, you idiot.
Daniel warns.
Sally, this is his best birthday ever.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Well, it's probably one of your best birthdays, considering your two sons probably greeted you with a handmade greeting card.
Did they make you breakfast in bed?
Yeah.
No.
Breakfast in bed for Dada.
Didn't do that, but they gave me their presents in bed this morning.
What'd you get?
And got a couple things. I got a new barbecue, outdoor barbecue set that comes with a like a meat thermometer and stuff like that. Because
Want to make sure your chicken is cooked thoroughly so you don't get sick.
Or they don't get sick.
Because they don't eat meat.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Then
this is just for him.
Forgot.
Then I requested a
2
while
times a year he grills.
a while back. I wanted a new socket set, standard and metric.
Do a lot of socketing around the house.
I got the stand. I got what you call the.
You got basically for birthday. You got shitty Christmas gifts.
It's like Father's Day stuff.
Yeah.
I got the basic
Executive.
dad.
You got executive putt. You got a socket wrench set, a tie, some socks and underwear.
I requested this is what I wanted.
Jelly of the month.
Then my sons made me custom. I thought they were they're for headphones. They were like little round pieces of fabric, and then they have a Velcro on each side, and then you put your headphones there and you taco them. I thought they were for the outside of my headphones. I put them up to my ears. I was like, I like these. And like,
What are they?
Wait, did they crochet them?
no, my
Sons
wife.
crocheted you some headphones.
My wife saw. I'm sure she saw it on Pinterest or whatever. And basically, they're made out of some of my son's old shirts. And
Oh my God.
they're a round piece of fabric, and then they got a Velcro on one side. So you put your earbuds in.
It's an earbud pouch.
in the middle of them. Then you fold them together, so it creates like a little taco. That
You're
you
gonna
can
lose
hold
that,
your-
I'm sure.
Earbud taco.
I've already lost all my earbuds. I'm like, great.
So now you're going to lose the earbud holder
Yeah.
and the earbud.
You can put your weed in it, I guess. Hey, the videos for your birthday are rolling in. Here's the first one that we've been gifted from listeners. Check this out. It's all on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan
What
Live.
the hell?
Man, you're getting older by the minute, Tom. Man, you're getting older by the score. Anyway, you say it or you spin it.
Kind of looks like Tom in the future.
Since I knew I'm more. I guess that's a part of the plan, Tom. I guess that's how it's always gonna be. I guess I'll always be a little younger, Tom. And you'll be always older than me. So hope your days are good when on your birthday, Tom.
There's one.
Did he say it? He said you'll always be older than me?
Yeah.
This guy's younger than me?
Yeah, this guy's younger than you.
Apparently.
Here's another one. This one actually came in. This one came in from the Midwest.
Ukulele puts a... Oh, yeah.
Shout out Tom.
Oh, no.
Tom, it's your birthday.
Yeah, get it, girl.
Happy birthday, Tom. Tom don't take no mess. It's your 50th birthday.
Oh, she got it wrong. It's your 50th birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She got bubble teeth in?
Yeah, what is that?
Did someone just pay like some social media people to like, these not our listeners, are they?
No, these are.
No.
I requested this for you.
Send us some mediocre videos
Here's
for that.
another one.
Your sweetheart girlfriend.
Did she just pick a wedgie?
Sammy. So anyway, yeah, I realize it's a day late for your birthday, Tom, but you know, I was still setting up the PS4 I just got and everything. So this works out pretty well. At least I get to stand and do this and that. And I got a little bit more room and everything.
Hold on. What is this?
Birthday messages.
No,
Here's
but
the
this is not our
request
listeners.
from your sweetheart. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
brony.
you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you, Mr. Thomas.
There you go.
Is this just weirdo internet people that you could go and pay $5 to and they just
And the
say-
last one is my favorite.
All right. Does that woman have a 5 o'clock shadow?
It's a brony.
It's a brony, yeah.
Wow, all these people. Wow, you're world renowned.
This is what appears to be Middle Eastern Mark Marrow wishing you a happy birthday.
Bollywood?
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, dear Tom.
Yeah!
Big production, just for me.
Yeah, we filmed this one. This was in the middle of Prague.
Happy birthday to you, happy
I dig it.
birthday to you, happy birthday to you, dear Tom.
Butler, if you were a little more brown, you'd look like this guy.
Goals.
These internet videos have become like the shot glasses you buy at Disney, right? Where you could just search for the name and thousands of happy
Obviously,
birthday.
I had a little time here. I'm sipping on a Monster Energy drink, which my wife swore I was never to drink again, but I had Samantha buy me one.
Don't drag me in
And
this.
I'm just,
I didn't know that.
I'm just
I would've got you one.
stealing all of these but they're so good.
Yeah,
They're so good. They're better than if I wished you a happy birthday. I could get a fat brony to wish you a happy birthday.
yeah. I
He's
like it
got
better.
long blue hair. He's comfortable with his sexuality.
I like it better than the balloon cupcake I got from
Oh, take that.
Well, speaking of my birthday, it started off rough
Oof.
this morning. Got a speeding ticket.
No! Ticket challenge.
And I'll explain to you how it happened. I'm driving. I had to go run an errand.
Fast you were driving.
So, no, I wasn't.
Oh.
What are you, Yoda? Fast you are driving.
I got this ticket right here. By the way, which
Oh my God!
Jesus!
You got a CVS.
Yeah, it's a CVS copy.
They
On the back of it, it's $2 off Maybelline. Good.
So I'm driving and I have to put this address on my GPS.
Most people do
do
that
that
before
before.
they're driving.
Well, no, I did.
He's sitting in the parking lot of his destination, putting in the address.
And so, it's taking me back roads or whatever. I'm over here on like Clay Street.
Body like a back road.
Near downtown. And then there's a truck in front of me, and I'm going down the street.
How dare you?
And then all of a sudden, I see this cop pop out of the bushes, like right before the traffic light, and he's like waving the truck off in front of me, like, get over here, right? And then so I almost went around him. I was like, okay, this cop is pulling this guy over. And then he's like, no, you go too. And he waves me over too. So it's like,
that's when
fuck!
you keep pointing at you. Me as your passenger, like me? I don't.
And so
What's he gonna do?
because he was standing with his radar detector like in the bushes on this street, right?
Oh, wait, were you in Winter Park?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is what they do.
Well, you
by the
know
way,
all
I
these
got
guys.
the-
Can't you get him off this
I
ticket?
don't know all these
So,
guys.
You work all their political campaigns.
Well, they don't all run for sheriff. I just know the one.
So I don't know if you're like this, Bus Decker, but every time I get pulled over or whatever, there's a cop having some interaction, I always get paranoid. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
do
fuck,
too.
what's in my truck or what's
I
in my
do
car?
too.
I'm like, the weed gun?
Yeah.
I don't even have a gun.
So I have
but,
neither of those ever in my car. But I still get nervous.
I look around in my center console. There's a gun made of weed. It's a weed gun.
I'm like, am I riding dirty? I don't know. I don't, because nowadays, because I got a good working car, I'm less worried about being pulled over. My junk truck, there's always lights out and shit falling off, and so.
Is that the one Samantha drives?
No, but close.
I basically, the cop, he's talking to the first guy, and then he comes over to me. He's like, you know what speed limit this is on this road? I'm like, no, I don't. And then he's like, all right. He's like, I saw you jockeying for a position behind this
what
guy.
Is single lane? What does he
Right.
mean? Talking for, what are you going to
You
pass
didn't
him?
question him about that?
The fuck is he talking about?
I've learned a long time ago, starting debates with cops while
It's
they
not a
get pulled
debate.
over.
Just be like, no, sir, I was just following him.
Did you slip in a Tom Van, Drunky the Bear? It's
I
my
was
birthday.
wearing a BDM shirt.
No,
so
you
I
got to slip it in there. You got to be, it's my birthday. My wife's going to kill me.
I could tell.
Works every time.
Well, I think he knew it was my birthday because when he was writing me the ticket, he must have seen that. So then when he came back, he's like, I'm only going to write you for going 5 over, which always bothers me because I was like, well, then what was I even doing at the beginning? Like, so my ticket was for going 35 and a 30.
Okay.
That's what he fucking gave me a ticket for, by the way.
That's
and
garbage.
I think he only radar gunned the guy in front of me, and because I was following the guy, then he just lumped me in with that guy's ticket.
I don't think you can do that.
I know, that's
You
right.
should have kept going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then I
People
get
in the
gunned
chat,
down.
no, people in the chat
Gunned
room are
down.
saying that like he can't just wave his hands and tell you to go over. You just keep going and say, "Look, I am trying to be
Keep
the
my eye
best
on the
driver
road."
possible." And when people wave at me, I keep my hands at 10 and 2 or whatever the fuck, and I just drive and I concentrate.
Yeah, I don't know.
So how much is the ticket for?
$129.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And
god!
then if you try to fight it here,
For not even going 5 miles over.
you got to pay more if you try to fight it here. in
No,
Florida.
don't say fuck. Call Hunchuck.
I heard that worked out great for your wife.
The cop showed up and he fucked her ass good. Oh,
And this
fucked her
cop
proper.
seemed. Now, here's the thing, though.
Oh,
I think
man.
I have legitimate argument because he can't say that he got 2 cars with 1 radar gun.
I agree.
Right? I don't know, but it seems logical.
I've seen that video.
2 cars, 1 radar.
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
Shitting in my muffler. But anyway, so I think
Juan is saying that 5 miles per hour is within the margin of error for the gun. So either way, you might.
I think you got to fight it.
Yeah.
You got
Don't
you
pay
got attorney.
$120.
You got
Well,
attorney.
I would
Here's the thing.
love to make fun of you for not paying attention, but it's your birthday, and I think this is bullshit because I think you
I
were
could have
just
been speeding.
No, you were just driving like everybody
Whoa,
else
whoa!
does.
Don't say those things.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll cut that out later.
Honestly, I don't know, but I definitely wasn't trying to weave or jockey for position in a one. Like I was just following
It's a
the truck.
single lane fucking road. Who jockeys for position?
Unless you were swerving, I'm not really sure where he would get that.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to say like, I got this guy, and since you were following him, I'm gonna get you too. But he couldn't.
Following traffic.
Yeah. Anyway,
Following the flow of traffic.
here's why I will fight it. Like it's not worth for the $129. I just pay it. But I don't know if you knew this, Buzztecker, but I cannot take the traffic course to get the points off my license for the rest of my life.
Really?
Yeah, I've wasted
Banned for life.
Seriously.
So you can't go to the comedy traffic school?
No.
I can't go to any traffic school for the rest of my goddamn life.
That doesn't seem real.
I know.
Do you
It's a
want the
little harsh.
most shocking? You want the most shocking?
I've already.
It's not just him. His wife can't go either.
Yeah. Both
Aren't
of
you
us.
both banned?
Yeah, for life.
Do you speed a lot? I mean, how many have you got? How many
Oh.
tickets have you got?
I've gotten my fair share.
dabbles
in, the
in
past.
tickets.
But
All speeding?
No, one reckless driving when I crashed into someone by
I
accident.
remember that one. Yeah, that's
my,
where you're
my
having your-
tires are bald.
Yeah, bald tires and fainting spells.
Yeah,
from
I was
extreme anxiety.
Searching memes on Facebook. Anyway, I didn't realize you only had a set amount for life, and apparently we've run through those already. So they told last time I tried. I forgot what it was. Some ticket. We tried to take the traffic school, and they're like, "No, you're up." And I'm like, "Well, for how many years?" They're like, "For life."
That does not make sense.
I know. We double checked a couple times.
Well,
and,
obviously, you haven't paid attention in all these traffic schools, so why should they accept you back?
Well, I used to pay my mom.
Who does pay attention in traffic school?
I've never been.
You go online. You do it online.
I was trying to get Tom's mom to take my traffic school, and then my wife, being a fucking nerd, got all mad and said, "You can't do that. They'll figure it out." I'm like, "They're not going to figure it out. Marilyn will take care of it."
Yeah, she did it for like $100 for me in the past.
Yeah,
like,
she
because you
made a deal in your pool with me, $50.
I know.
I got a cheaper price than a family.
So you're banned from like the classroom as well. So like not
I
only
can
online-
school.
I can't take any.
What if you
no more
started your own traffic school?
Loophole.
Comedy traffic school.
Well, comedy in quotes.
No, you just have everybody show up and you're like, "All right,
We'll
look,
buy an island.
just surf your phones. I'll be back in an hour. I'm
Traffic
giving you
school
all
island.
day."
So it was a rough start of the day, but
Yeah.
then
That sucks. He should have checked your license and saw it was your birthday and let you go.
this
You
guy.
should have mentioned it, man. That's where not speaking up comes into play. You
Oh,
should
yeah, I'd
have been like,
"Oh, my birthday."
100% he saw his birthday.
You
He
should have
looked at his
been
license.
like, but maybe he didn't pay attention. Maybe he just ran it. I don't think the computer's gonna beep if it's the
No,
birthday.
but he wrote the date down. He's like, it was
Yeah.
fucking today's date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how many times do I have to look at my watch all day?
Yeah,
It's not
true.
like I remember it. You know what I mean? Like,
And I knew there was no. Believe me, I would have thrown in the Drunk of the Bear or the Tom Van.
I think the drunkies.
That's fading out. I gauge the older. If it's an older cop, I'll throw in the drunk.
If it's an old fat redneck big donut cop, then you're drunk in the bear. You're good as gold.
Yeah. But this guy, he was like straight up high and tight. Buzz cut.
Military?
It looked
Oh,
like this
yeah.
guy was no bullshit, like
Yeah.
big military
dude
that
Maybe
wasn't practical.
Kramer will go to court for you.
I'm gonna call him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Kramer will love that.
He's there.
He's like, "I can't be in here. These people smell bad. Everybody stinks."
Traffic cop.
Last time I went to traffic court, I was just sitting there to pay a fine. Remember that guy had a joint fall out of his pocket in front of me.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
he dropped something. He's like, "Oh, thank you, boss. Thank you, boss.
Yeah.
That's good. Good on you. Good on you."
So, yeah. And then I came in here, and then I
I
saw
don't
my
think you're
balloon
right
more grumpy.
about the being banned for life. It just says you can't take it within 18 months of each other.
Oh, you might be right
No,
back
but
in it.
There's an amount that you
How
get.
many? How
in
many
life.
have you done?
I don't know.
7?
Whatever the
10?
whatever the max is. Look up the
Wait,
max
you
amount.
I'm
can't
trying
even
to
remember?
find that.
Would you be
You
shocked
know?
if I told you he's done one every year since I've known him?
No.
And I've known him
Crazy.
12 years.
No,
Once in a year period, but no more than 5 total
Yeah,
times.
it's 5.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
I've done it more. I've done it 5.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife has to.
They call him five times Tom.
The thing is how my brain works. I
Call me 5
probably
times.
once I got to 3, I probably should have been like, hey, I should space these other 2 out. Like I
or
got my
just
whole
not
life.
getting a ticket anymore.
Well, that's hard to do. Sometimes when you're just fucking driving down the street, a cop's waiting in the bushes.
That's when you got to drive. Unless you're coming out of
that's
somebody's
bullshit, by
kitchen. Unless you're coming out of somebody's kitchen carrying Mike's Hard Lemonade and a pizza.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
And it's listen, there's no way anybody could tell me that's not just like cops taxing.
It's like
the
a form of
fucking
entrapment.
people. Well, you're on a road that's a 30-mile-an-hour
Were you
road.
up here on Lakemont?
It was a Clay Street near downtown
Oh,
or whatever,
okay.
and
I know
there's
what
just
you're
a
talking
and it's not even like a residential road. There's houses on one side, but like going a little more than 30.
It's not residential. There are houses on the side.
But I'm saying it wasn't like a back like community road. It's like, there was a bunch of fucking traffic and shit, and like. There's a lot of people that probably go over 30 because
Like you.
35 is easy. But no, I'm saying all they're doing, they're not keeping the fucking community safe. They're just writing a shit ton of tickets to fill their quota. Like, I can understand if someone's really putting people's lives in danger, but me going 35 and a 30 down this fucking street, give me a break.
If you would have had Waze, you would have avoided this.
I was using Waze too.
Fucking Waze.
So wait, how many tickets have you had, Dan, in like the last 5 to 10 years?
1.
Yeah,
I got one on a
Samantha?
scooter.
Yeah, I got one on my scooter. That's it.
I haven't. The only tickets I've ever gotten, one was for a busted taillight, and one was for an expired tag.
Yeah, I got a seatbelt ticket like 4 years ago.
Nerd.
I got like 5.
I was expecting you to be like, I have tickets to Hamilton.
The seatbelt ticket's not
fuck outta
it's
here.
not a moving violation. I'm lucky because I've had 5 seatbelt tickets in my
Jesus.
life.
Oh my God, you're like,
I used to never wear my seatbelt.
do you wear it now?
Yeah. Well, I used to have cars that didn't beep when your seatbelt was like not on, so it was easy for me to forget. I just get in and start driving.
I turned mine off in my car. Like you can plug in that little, computer. And then I change everything.
But you're always wearing your seatbelt, right?
I do. Yeah. I always have though. I've never had a problem wearing my seatbelt. I even remember the commercials. Remember the cartoon commercials where the guy's like, "It wrinkles my clothes."
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like he didn't like wearing he was like a suit guy and he didn't like wearing the seatbelt because it'd wrinkle his clothes. And somebody said, "It's uncomfortable on my love handle." Stuff like that, They're trying to get you to wear it and then they showed the people all dead at the end or whatever. You want to do our shot?
Yeah, let's do our shot.
Well, do you have a
a
toast prepared?
Of course I do.
All right, now do you want to explain that we're doing a different shot today?
Yes. Okay, so this happens every once in a while, and I think it was because
we lost our contact there.
We lost our contact with Rebecca Creek. She
moved up in the world.
I'll explain because I love Rebecca Creek's products. And,
I have no problem with them whatsoever.
I love Texas Ranger whiskey.
They treated us good.
But so when they were first moving into
Creek's
Florida,
gone dry, folks.
there was there's a woman named Allison, I believe,
yep,
right?
Allison.
Allison came into Florida and she was looking to get Rebecca Creek into Florida because they're a Texas-based whiskey. So she started in Florida. I think Andy from Johnny's met her when she was over there talking to Johnny's other side, and then he was like, "Hey, you should advertise with Tom and Dan. This is perfect." Anyway, she met with us, but like long story short, we formed this relationship. It was great. But she subsequently moved on to a different company in the past couple months. So then we lost now the contact was the person in Texas.
It was the owner of Rebecca Creek was my contact for a while.
And so I knew right off the bat, I was like, "Ooh, this is never good when we don't have a direct relationship with the person we started with," and that's everything in sales. Mm-hmm. And then so they stayed with us for a while, but then they finally they're moving on to a different.
They're moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
So I think they might be pulling somewhat out of their focus out of Florida.
Yeah, I think so too. Which is fine because shit like that happens all day long.
Yeah,
but hey, no ill will here. We still we love the product, but hey, we're not going to endorse it because they're not on the books anymore. But we wish them all the best, and I'm sure they wish us the best, and all is well.
Yeah, but that leaves it open for another liquor sponsorship. So if anybody out there, a lot of our sponsorships we get from BDMs that work for companies, including White Claw, in which we met August, and it's been a great deal. But so if you are a liquor rep or there's another liquor out there that you think would sponsor the show, we could do a shot of that liquor. But in the meantime, we figure we're going to keep this shot tradition going.
I like it.
And then until we get another sponsor, we're just going to take random shots of different liquor.
So what are we doing today, Butler?
Today we are sipping on a really nice Herradura tequila.
There goes that.
These guys are sponsoring us. This is just fucking delicious. So sometimes
we got Herradura.
Herradura.
So this is a tequila.
All right. Feliz cumpleaños. Oh wait, you got a speech, right? Or not speech, but
we got a little toast. Here's everyone coming, especially Tom's parents 37 years ago. Happy birthday, Tom.
Don't speak about his mother that way.
It's interesting you brought that up.
Oh
because
God, I hate tequila.
That's
I like it.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
Oh, that's smooth.
It's got a good taste to it. You brought my parents up.
Brought them coming up. Actually.
So my dad passed away when he was 37.
Oh,
So today, now that I'm 37,
the same age as
I'm the same age as my dad ever was, and it's a bizarre feeling, and the fact that. When he passed away when I was 10, and when I was, I just remember him as being this old guy that was this.
Can you imagine if your kids were 10?
No,
right?
It's bizarre.
To be 37 and have a 10-year-old.
And I was like, my memory of him is
imagine
being like
me being 50 and having a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Because that's what. No, it's not going to be that bad.
But it's just a bizarre thing.
Yeah, but you don't think of yourself as old like you thought.
No,
of your
I know.
dad as
Yeah,
old.
exactly. And then now, I'm like, holy shit. And I guess in a couple months, I'll be older than he ever was. because he was like 37 in like 2 months when he died in Hurricane Andrew. Not to bring everybody down, it was a long time ago. But anyway, that's I'm trying to make it past that, and then I'll have a small celebration like, yeah, beat you, Dad.
That's so fucked up.
So we gotta wait for 2 months for you to be happy.
It's been a long time.
So can I bring you a cupcake in 2 months? Like, you got it. You fucked his ass. Great job.
I don't feel bad about my toast. By the way.
It's just an odd thing to live, be older than your dad.
It is. It's also an odd thing to watch the life squeeze out of your dad, and his face turned red as he grasped for oxygen.
Come on,
in a hospital. And he turns red, and then you see his eyes roll back. Dead.
What I said was comical. You just made everybody.
Well, I haven't gotten to the punchline yet. I'll get there eventually.
So speaking of dads, Daniel, what?
I think my daughter's your kid.
Why?
Is that what I'm?
No.
Which one are we?
That's a different topic. Yeah. That's when Maury comes in with the DNA test.
Well, no, she's got in trouble yesterday.
For what?
Well, I went to her cubby. I was picking her up, and she has like a little cubby that they put all her stuff in. Whether it's like the drawings that she does or all these, whatever. And then sitting in there,
other kids to do all the work for her?
You might be onto something, but not the drawing. Like, she's good at like drawing. She's working on her letters and doing really, really well. But in her cubby, I noticed as I was gathering everything and putting it into the bag to go home, there's like some change, like loose change sitting there. And I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. So I took the loose change and put it in the bag, and we went home. And she takes that loose change, she puts it in her piggy bank. So that was 2 days ago. Then yesterday, when I go to get her stuff, I put it in there. There's more change up there. And then my wife texted me this morning and said that she had a conversation with her teacher about how Maisie has been getting all of the kids on the playground to search for coins, and then bring them back to her, and then she keeps them. And I'm like, this is so Tom Van, it hurts. Like, she's running a fucking money game where she's like, hey, here's the plan, guys. We're all going to go out, and we're all going to search for coins, and if you find the coins, bring them back to me. And then she keeps them, and they're not arguing at all.
It's like Blood Diamond.
Yeah, it is. She's made like almost right at 80 cents just from playground coins.
She starts searching the other kids' buttholes. Like, are you hiding a quarter up your ass? Chop her hand off. That is hilarious. Did you ask her why she started this?
Yeah, she said, I asked her, I said, like, hey, so you're getting the other kids to look for coins? She's like, yeah, they think it's fun. And I was like, well, why do you get to keep all the coins? And she said, I'm smart.
No,
she's right.
Like how I run this business. Yeah. Like Daniel thinks the
Butler's
talking part is
for coins
fun.
from all the sponsors.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll just be over here getting
It's
my
fun,
money.
right?
Yeah. I put the money in the piggy bank. Yeah, it was just one of those things. I'm like, are you fucking serious? To my wife, I'm like, are we supposed to tell her not to do that? I was like, why don't you let and I even asked her, I was like, well, if the other kids find like a nickel or a dime, why don't you let them keep that? And she's like, no. There's no real explanation. Just no.
I'll have a talk with her. I'll be like, don't worry about the pennies. They're bullshit.
Yeah, no, you pay them in pennies.
Yeah, you give them the pennies and just say, oh, they're better because they're brown, or copper looking, I thought that was weird.
Well, speaking of Maisie, there's another thing that you mentioned and wrote down is that Andrea's dad watched Maisie and then had a conversation with you guys.
Yeah, he called us like 3 days after watching her, and he's like, I thought something was horribly wrong because I got a text message that said, my wife got a text message from him that said, like, hey, call me when you can. And whenever you get a text message from a family member that says, like, hey, call me when you can, like the last one we got was like a family tragedy. I won't go into it, but you guys all know. Yeah. So when you get one like that, your heart skips a bit. You're like, oh shit. Did somebody pass away? Did somebody have an accident? Is there something wrong? Maybe her dad found out something was wrong with him. Who knows? And so she gets a text message. Can you call me call me when you can? So she's like, I'm cooking. She's like, well, I'll call him. I was like, yeah, go ahead. If anything happens, you just tell me. I'll handle May and dinner. And then so she went upstairs to make the call in private. So she calls him, and he's like real serious about it, like very, very serious. And I wish I could call Andrea. She's in a big orientation today out at UCF because she started a new job. She's actually working with UCF. And so he calls her, and then he's like, Hey, the other night when I was watching Maisie, she was in the tub, and Grammy, which is his wife, not Andrea's mom, but her stepmom, Grammy said, stand up, Maisie, we need to wash your back and your buddy butt. And she goes, that's not my buddy butt, that's my vagina. And he's like, where is she hearing this? Where's, the whole vagina thing?
Yeah. And then she called it a butthole, too?
She said my butthole and my vagina. Those are the terms we use in my house. It's penis, vagina, butthole. Boobies. And boobies. Boobies. Got to throw boobies in there. And I don't know what to say about that because, to me, we were instructed by her school to use the proper terminology in case there is ever an issue where she might be, her privacy is violated or compromised, that she can tell the police beyond a shadow of a doubt. The example that they used in training, because I've been to that, was you don't want to tell your kid, especially with a girl with a vagina, you don't want to use the term cookie, because if you say he touched my cookie, well, that can mean a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to use, and I think you and I talked about this last week, maybe on ACT or maybe the BDM show or OG show.
I know they were talking about on Two Wife Crew.
Yeah. It seems,
but he was we put him on tilt, I think, a little bit, because to him that's a shocking. Shocking concept for
that's the old school mentality.
And I get it.
It shouldn't be that way.
But as a granddad, I think I'd feel just like him. I think I would feel
I feel like he does. So I say it's weird.
Well, don't
the little tiny kid saying vagina. I'm like, God. And also, if something ever did happen to a kid and then the kid was like, he touched my pee-pee, it's not like cops are like, well, could mean anything.
No,
case closed.
But a lot of people do say cookie, and that could be an actual cookie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Plus, by the way,
you don't want to mix up any of the verbiage.
I don't want to throw this out there, but I eat cookies and I eat cookie, and they taste completely fucking different.
I've seen the court cases. They get the doll, and the kid's pointing at the
Well, what do you tell your sons about?
I say pee-pee.
No.
I say all the. I'm not a penis.
No, pee-pee is what comes out of it. What do they say? What comes out of their pee-pee?
Pee-pee.
They pee-pee with the pee-pee? That's going to confuse them.
No, they're confused about everything.
Next thing you know, I say, I'm me Chinese, me play joke, me put poopy in your Coke. I didn't put my dick in your Coke. I pissed in it.
Right.
You're going way too far with taking.
Why is that too far?
Because
the actual terminology for your genitalia.
Are you ashamed?
The reason I wrote it down, I knew Samantha would come in hot on this one.
Well, for a kid, though, when the kid says penis and vagina and stuff, it's shocking.
But that's what it is.
But it shouldn't be.
It really, you're right. It shouldn't be, because she even says
take the shame away from it.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if you could, how much of the world that would change. You know what I mean? I don't want her to grow up super fast, but I also know I try to take cues from what I'm instructed to do.
Why is pee-pee less vulgar?
Well, why you think about it? If my 4-year-old's
but it means the same thing.
My penis fell out. You'd be like, whoa, calm down, kid.
Yeah, but if you said my pee-pee fell out,
it's laughing.
Regardless, his pee-pee fell out.
Yeah, I know it means the same thing. I'm just saying one's a little more easy to digest from a kid.
Don't say pee-pee's easy to digest.
I don't want to hear your daughter say the word vagina.
Oh, you're going to hear it. I'm going to make her scream it in
problem.
your face tonight when you see her. I'm going to make her go, vagina!
It's uncomfortable.
Shy
away from it.
I'm glad that I knew that you would side with Andrea's dad, who was very concerned, and then she had to go. It was a long conversation.
I'm sure if you talk to Andrea, her dad probably didn't have the birds and the bees conversation, or
not
every
her.
parent's.
That's a mom thing, right?
In the '80s, my mom never talked. You don't talk about it.
No, parents usually don't.
Yeah. You're just
you learn from school and your friends.
Yeah. That's
my mom and dad never talked to me about it.
No.
Yeah.
So I found my dad's porn collection, so that's all.
That's not talking to you about it, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what my dad called mine, though. We called it, God, what did we call it? I'm trying to think. I think maybe I was raised in a penis family.
And a penis?
I think I was in a penis family. My mom being an educator, my mom being a teacher. I think that we were a penis family. Especially being uncircumcised, me and my dad uncut. You know, the tail of the rat-a-tat. There was no... penises were flying in my house.
Was your dad cut and then you...
No, my dad was uncut.
Okay.
Yeah, we were both uncut. He rolled his skin back as if to not be shamed by society. But then he told me, Even on his deathbed, as his dying breath, he's like, never pull it back.
Never
Let it hang long. Be proud of your Be proud of your elephant trunk.
Aardvark dick.
And never call it a pee-pee.
I think Andrea tried to instill the penis thing into Crystal. We shouldn't have phrased it that way. But, because
I think they just talked about it.
Like, because soon after, I think that 2-wife crew they did, Tommy comes up to me and then he's like, "This is my penis."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he's flexing his fucking muscles.
God damn, bro! I'm trying to eat dinner. Stick to pee-pee. Don't say penis ever.
Why are you using
Never.
You make fun of
Shame.
me. You make fun of me for video games
Shame.
and cartoons.
Tom's a baby.
Hold on. If you're gonna make fun of me for video games and cartoons and call me F-word for gays and this, that, and the other thing, then you can't say you're gonna sit there and use gibberish. Horseshit kid words.
Well, they're kids. That's the whole thing.
No, but they need to know what their body's not a kid. Their body is a body.
When do they get to make the transition from saying the word
Don't
pee-pee?
say make the transition. That's all fucked up.
No, it's fine. When are they allowed to say penis?
I mean, never.
18.
I mean, that's their own business.
Hey,
like,
Dad.
don't talk about it to me.
Dad, I bought you some
Are you not
some
going to have
White Claw.
the sex talk with your boy?
No.
Okay.
Dad, I bought you some White Claw. Oh, man, I drank so much White Claw, I got to take a piss with my pee-pee.
I'm going to avoid it forever if I can.
God, that girl's so hot. My pee-pee's getting hard. They start grabbing it in front of you.
I'll be like, you'll figure it out.
Oh, Dad, this girl's sucking my pee-pee so hard.
I feel like
that's worse.
I was gonna put it in her cookie.
don't talk
Bus digger for the win. Get on the bus.
Also, I want to talk about text I got last night from Samantha.
On Valentine's Day?
Well, it was a group text.
I didn't get that one.
And she was talking about
here's a picture of my husband's pee-pee.
some concentrate.
Look how smooth it is.
Because at Certera you can get basically you can get the different products, but you can get it pure concentrate. So it comes in a little syringe, and it's basically like a viscous wax that you push out of a syringe, and it's like pure in the fact that it's I don't think it's 100% THC, but it's like in the 80s.
Yeah,
and then the rest
it might
is
be
CBD.
88, 86.
But I was telling Samantha, like, that's probably the most like an edible that you can find, because you can't buy like candy edibles in Florida yet. But in other states, people are very familiar with like gummies and chocolates and things they infuse with THC. So they, in the instructions they give you, they tell you put a rice-sized dab on
Mine
your
did
finger.
not say that. Mine was very clinical. It had like 0.005 ml. Like it had.
That's weird, because
numbers.
the one that Tom has, the one that I had, like the little thing that I got.
think mine must be newer. Or
Mine,
something.
yeah, your bag was different too.
Yeah.
But mine said rice size. It said you want to dose it in grains of rice.
Like 1 grain of rice, give or take. That would be the correct dose for like 1 milliliter,
milligram, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So Samantha texted. She's like, I squirted too much. I think I did 2.5 rice.
It took 30 minutes to get the goddamn cap off, and I had to have my husband use pliers because it was on so tight.
It's childproof.
So once it came off, it started
Samantha-proof.
oozing out without us even like pushing the syringe at all.
Is that because you heated it up a little bit?
I just held it in my hand to warm it
Okay,
up.
okay, that's what you did.
Are we talking about weed or
pee-pee? I'm talking about my husband's pee-pee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, very good.
And
How's
then
your
I was
cookie
like,
doing? Good
Good
cookie,
cookies.
3 cookies.
Let's just say I accidentally gave myself a grain and a half one time, and I was in Target with my wife, and it looked like the aisles were like the gun scene from Matrix, where you're picking on it. It was like, and I had to snap myself out of it.
He's walking through the toy aisles. He looks over. WWE AJ Styles doll starts walking towards him, talking to him.
And so, but Samantha, she was like,
I took 2 grains on accident because, like I said, it was already coming out, and then I took it, and then I remembered your story, and I told you guys,
And then we started fucking with you. I'm
you
sitting
told
here
me
like
I needed to handcuff myself to the bed so I don't freak out.
like a guy turning into a werewolf, you know?
yeah.
know the full moon's
Well,
coming,
that's to
and
protect
you
your family.
You put yourself in a prison so that you don't, when you turn into a werewolf, you don't kill everybody.
Scott Stapp.
Anyway, so you were fine. It just goes to show you that
It did absolutely nothing.
yeah, everybody's different.
2 grains,
yeah.
nothing.
No, because see, last
So
night.
now what do? I double the grains?
Mine. Oh yeah, you got to go 4 grains.
But
I bought. We all went over there. I bought some. It's called PM Relax PM, and I took a giant toot of that, and I literally was standing on the moon.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. I mean, the
trying to get up
best.
there.
I was
Couldn't
up there.
make it.
I was waiting for you.
Couldn't
You're
make
down
it.
there, handcuffed to the radiator.
Do you? How much time have we got? Because maybe we'll do.
It's your show, bro. It's your birthday.
your
We got as much
birthday.
time as you want.
I know.
You got a big birthday celebration tonight, or?
Birthday blowjob?
Blowjob, suck it on my pee-pee.
I tried to convince my wife I want a coupon book similar to Butler's Christmas
Yeah.
present.
Well done.
I was like, I want a coupon book. and
One
then-
free awkward massage.
No, I don't want the massage.
You got a free car wash.
But speaking
It's a
of
keeper.
the BJ, I was like, how about we put 5 BJ coupons in there and I can redeem them anytime? And then she's like, whoa, what if I'm mad at you or like don't
Say,
want to do
doesn't
it?
matter.
I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's when I'm going to redeem them.
Yeah,
Redeem
'cause
them
those are the best ones.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Does he want her to give you a blowjob when
Oh,
she's
yeah.
mad?
You know what
Or-
that's called? It's called Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. That's what you want. You want
Yeah.
all the teeth.
You don't want that.
Yeah, it's like my buddy,
Rumble in the jungle, man. Give me those teeth.
Logic Man Andy.
Bite it a little bit.
He used to
Listen when
frequent
you're alive.
the Asian massage parlors that give you happy endings, you know? He used to go on this rubmap.com.
Yeah.
And it would show you.
Actually, it's Tug Maps.
Oh, Tug Map. So he used to say he would
Not that I know
actually,
anything about
he preferred it when the lady giving him the happy ending was mad about it.
Yeah, there's a song, right?
Yeah,
The
like-
lap dance is always better when she's crying. I
He
think.
wanted to.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It sounds awful,
Yeah.
but I got a good laugh out of it.
That's like the shaming porn, or like, you know what I'm saying, where it's like they're slapping the girl and making her cry.
Oh,
and-
that's too far.
No,
This-
that
Why?
is too far.
or
this-
where they're making her gag and her eyes are watering.
This lady just,
That's hard.
you know,
Make
she's
the boyfriend just sit in the corner while his best friend bangs with.
she's whacking you a little depressed about where her life's ended up.
So you didn't get the
sounds awful.
coupon book, did you?
No, she denied
Yeah.
it.
I like it when they look away. They're like,
yeah.
they're literally whacking it while looking the other direction, almost like they're piloting a boat. You know, like using the rudder.
Maybe you should just make the coupon book anyway.
Oh
and
yeah,
see if it works.
she has to. Well, here he goes like, hey, she's not talking to me. Door shut. I just slide the BJ coupon under the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, redeem a 1, please.
Yeah. And what if she doesn't open the door? You know what you do? You take the doorknob off, stick it through the doorknob.
Oh, I'd
What
be
else
afraid of
was-
that.
I'll make it easy for you.
What else was in the coupon book? What did you want? in the
That was the
coupon?
only thing.
Oh, you
that
just
is
wanted
one-
blowjobs.
It's one coupon.
Nothing else seemed.
You know what?
worthy.
One coupon's not a book. It's just a
Well,
coupon.
it's 5 of
He
the same
wanted 5
coupon.
of the same.
What, 5 free blowjob coupons? Dude, you're pushing your luck.
Right.
You'd be lucky if you get 3 free blowjob
That's the
coupons.
only thing in the book. I don't need the massage or the hey, do the I don't know what else.
Do
you
the
put-
dishes.
Yeah. I don't know.
How
what
about a
else.
blowjob while you do the dishes?
Wait, while he does the dishes?
Awkward for my sons.
Send them to bed.
Yeah.
Why limit it to 5? Might as well do 50.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
couldn't even get.
How many
the 5.
pages are in 100 Things to Do in Orlando Before You Die?
Like 160 or so?
160 blowjob.
Too many pages. What the- so,
Have you been here?
let's take a break. When we come back, in Bustakers News, we got a story that broke this week that I really want to talk about,
Right.
and also we're gonna come back with some mail on mail. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody that on the 24th, we're doing our pre-cruise party at Red Cypress Brewery. But that day, Ryan's going to release our crazy and our lazy beer. He's rebrewing both and canning both, so you can pick those up. But we're also going to do a newlywed game with anybody who wants to participate that is going on a cruise, because the winner of the 24th newlywed game is going to be the couple that is going to play the newlywed game on our cruise.
Yep.
With Dan Cummings, Samantha, her husband,
Yep.
you and your wife.
I'm going to be involved in that.
So
I'm excited about that. That'll be fun.
So we got a lot of cool things going on the 24th. Head to Red Cypress. I believe it starts at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
There you go.
And get there early if you want the crazy or lazy beers.
Hey, it's punk rock week. I picked a lot of music that I knew Samantha and I would enjoy. Is it selfish? Sure, but whatever. It's our show, And I've been playing a lot of Millencolin, and I've released their 2 singles, the ones that they came out with. The full-length album, the LP's out right now. And do you remember Yanni and Laurel? Well, that's the name of this song. So enjoy this. It's really good, man. These guys get better and better as time goes on, and I'm really excited to play this for you. This is Yanni and Laurel by Millencolin from the SOS album. We'll be back with more of Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this.
In the night, oh, it's in the night. In the night, in the night.
Oh. Thought you were going to do something there.
This segment brought to you by My Kramer Law Firm, onefirmforlife.com.
I love me some Stephen Kramer. We had him in, what did we talk about this week? Oh, comfort levels. The ultimate comfort levels.
Well,
like, can you be so, like, what is the right amount of money to reach where no matter what you try to attain as far as comfort levels go, it's just not going to make a difference.
There's a real number for that, they say.
I know.
It's like $75,000 a year.
Yeah. What got me to discussion, you could hear in the latest Gentleman's Guide, is like some rich person was talking about how rich Jeff Bezos was and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, once you have over $1 billion, I assume that no matter what you get over that, you can't really up your like level of pleasure or comfort or whatever, because they just don't make anything nicer that you could possibly buy. You know, like you have the nicest things and the most comfortable life that you could possibly purchase because things don't get more expensive. Like the difference between 1 and 2 billion, you probably have the same lifestyle. You know?
No,
and
totally.
then when you get up to 100 billion, you know, obviously your power grows, but what you could enjoy in life is probably the same as what Zuckerberg, Bezos' life and Zuckerberg's life probably the same, because you could buy anything you want.
True. No, I agree.
Welcome back to Mediocre Time. There you go.
So let's do some mail on mail.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for calling 1-800-HOT-DICK, the place to find real action with real men. To make it even better, we've got new low prices. So low, we're practically giving it away free.
If you are a man seeking a woman, press 1. If you are a woman seeking a man, press 2. If you are a man seeking a man, press 3.
Mail on mail.
Mail on Mail today brought to you by gringoslocos.com. For all locations, go to gringoslocos.com. And for their catering, go to the same website. And if you use promo code Tom and Dan, or let them know that you're a Tom and Dan listener, you get 10% off your catering. So it's a pretty good discount. And they do basically any size party you could possibly imagine. And
How about a birthday party? Would they?
I got catered my son's birthday.
Catered my birthday. Yeah, my daughter's birthday. That's good.
Yeah. And they could do, I've seen them do huge events. Our movie release party, they catered.
Oh, yeah.
A couple hundred. Anyway, Gringos Locos. Let's do first email.
Hey guys and Samantha, I thought of a great feature that would be perfect for the Tom and Dan app. Being able to favorite shows and have your own little corner of your favorite content. I personally spend a while looking back for the gems in the OG shows of Ross yelling and losing his shit. There are a bunch of shows that I like to go back and will never tire of. Maybe also being able to snippet your favorite part within a show. I don't know, not trying to make more work, but it seems like it would be pretty sweet.
What the fuck? Well, the funny thing about our app is we recently, because iOS or
Apple products, basically.
Their new iPhone X, you know how it has no border. It's like full screen or whatever.
Well,
like,
except for the cutout at the top that a lot of people hate, like that.
Yeah, it's their whole.
Almost did it on purpose. I like that.
But because they did that, basically now they've been going back through all the apps that are compliant with their devices, they're saying, hey, now you have all apps have to be compliant with the new X iPhone, so you have to make sure your app is goes to total full screen, because right now on iPhone X, there's a black bar in the bottom and top basically when our app. Anyway, so basically, we're like, okay, whatever. We talked to Mediocre Media.
There's other things in there, just the way that it runs, whether it's facial recognition. I mean, there's so many little things that they've added over the years that we just kind of, we're just like, okay. And now we're on the hook to comply.
So basically, Mediocre Media, who's our app developer, came to us and like, hey, they're going to start, what they'll do is they'll start taking your app away from iPhone unless it's compliant. So basically, no one can get it.
Yeah, it's like a form of punishment that they do.
So I'm like, all right, what is it going to be? A couple $100? Yeah, make it compliant. They're like, we have to rebuild the entire thing from ground up. Like literally, everything has to be redone. And because I don't have any understanding of technology, I was like, holy shit.
Pop-up.
Anyway,
well, you can only patch a few things. You can patch things, but then you get to a point where you're just like, probably going to be better if we just make this completely, it's going to look exactly the same, but it's all new.
So we're doing it, but it's a fucking stinger.
It's bad.
It's taking
a lot of money.
Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
So maybe down the road,
But-
those things will
but
happen.
as soon as that's
until
done,
we can fix the app now.
Yeah. But
it'll happen. I mean, we'll always try to add stuff to the app, but right now we have to work on getting it up to speed. Not only for Apple. I mean, it's going to cost us at least $2,000 to get it up to speed for Android.
Yeah.
For all the new phones that are coming out there. I mean, as technology gets better, I mean, we just have to adapt. So, yes, that's a big stinger.
So just send us an email. Well, that'll be the next thing we do for the update. But we gotta to now get our. What sucks about it is I hate spending a shit ton of money for the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing will change. It'll just be iPhone X. People can see the full thing. Like, that cost you $8,000 or whatever. Not that much, but pretty damn close. Anyway, all right. Let's do an email. Voicemail.
So, I watched the Netflix show or movie, Kidnapped in Plain Sight.
Abducted in Plain Sight.
I don't know if y'all have seen it, but they have to be some of the dumbest parents I've ever heard of my life, Spoiler alert. Just a heads up, the mom ends up sleeping with the kidnapper for probably over a year. And then the husband jerks off the guy as well.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
Now I want to see it.
It's just a bizarre and makes you question everything. So, Tom, compared to these
question
people,
everything?
Maybe you're not that bad of a parent.
Well, Tom's not a bad parent. He's just not a good disciplinarian. I mean, there's a big difference.
When everybody's so outraged by this show, and I'm like, what? They're just mentally, not only
have you seen it?
Could be mentally ill, or their IQ level could be way low, or
that old man jerked off. I see the memes.
They're
so the old man jerked the guy off.
Yeah.
But did he know that guy had abducted his?
At that point, he had not abducted her, but he was sleeping in his daughter's bed, and he was grooming her in their own home.
Okay.
They're just fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And the mom was fucking the guy.
Yeah.
But
still married.
She was having an affair with him as well.
All right.
I need a map.
My wife's already seen it.
It's all convoluted.
Yeah, my wife's already seen it, and I was like, I want to watch that. And she's like, I already watched it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to watch it alone. I mean, that's like, I need somebody to...
Well, people are outraged by
how
how these parents are acting, but I'm like, yeah, this is obviously an anomaly that these people are fucking nuts or mentally ill or
this
whatever it is.
This happens all the time.
Well,
they just made a docu-series about this one.
And then there are parents like
I had a nickel for every time I jerked off a pedophile.
There's horrible drug addict parents that
he was manipulating them to get to the daughter, so he was pawning them against each other. He was trying to get them divorced, so that he could, have access more with one. It's all fucked up.
Did he ever? I mean, this is maybe. Did he ever? So he abducted her. Did he ever sexually assault?
Yes, he raped her.
Oh my god!
Multiple times. He was trying to conceive with her.
Is he in jail now?
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Ultimate
he
spoiler
OD'd.
alert. Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah, it's
Bye-bye.
people are
Decided to kill himself like a real pussy.
People do.
I don't mean that like anybody that kills himself. I don't mean that. I just mean instead he knew he was going to go to prison and he took the easy way out.
Yeah.
instead
He
of
was
going to
obviously a
prison.
piece of shit.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to be insensitive to people that have committed suicide.
No, I don't think people would
Oh,
take it
trust
that
me,
way.
people will.
Although, it's better if he came to justice, but I'm kind of glad he killed himself because I don't want my
Yeah,
tax
that's true.
dollars paying for his fucking lunch for the rest of his life, in prison. Like, when people that are going to prison and they just kill themselves before they go, I'm like, if they're guilty and they're the real pieces of shit, I'm fine with it. I'm like, all right. Like, it would have been better.
God, if I were you, I'd get pulled over and get a ticket. I'd kill myself.
Yeah, I understand. Like, it must be frustrating for the people involved that want this person to be punished, but all in all, it's like you took care of it for all of us.
Yeah, I get it. I just look at
ruined people's lives.
Yeah, look at the
so,
tragedy.
it's
I mean, I guess
awful.
Is that a human characteristic where we want to see some sort of vengeance? Like
For some people, yeah.
Like we want to see this guy suffer because he made the girl he
Dude,
abducted
people go
suffer,
and
and he made
watch
the
people
mom suffer,
get executed,
and the dad suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. Vengeance is a real thing. It's
No, I get it, but I mean, like in this particular scenario, I mean, I don't know. I just like.
Nothing's gonna make it any better.
No, that's my point. Is
I think it gives some people closure, though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Next,
email.
Email.
Good afternoon, Dan. I love the shows. You guys touch on a lot of shit that I've been feeling almost makes me cry, but crying for the fact that I'm not alone in certain ways of how y'all think and feel. I was listening to the recent episode of A Manly Guide. You had said something about being scared of dying because you are worried about how your family and friends are going to live and etc.
I'm not worried about my friends. You guys can go fuck yourselves. I'm worried about my family. I don't want them to live past when I die.
Wait, you want your wife to go with you?
I want everybody.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, my whole family to
Really?
get with me. Yeah. I don't want them having fun after I'm dead because, well, I'm not having fun. I'm dead.
Why should they not have fun?
Because I'm not having fun.
It's a pharaoh.
It's ultimate selfishness.
Yeah.
But at least I'm open about it.
Have you? Wait, can I ask before we
Sure.
go? Can I ask?
Don't ask.
If something were to happen to you,
Yeah.
maybe not now, but maybe 10 years from now,
Yeah,
20
it
years
will.
from now,
Yeah, I'm thinking 8 years.
and you happen to pass away or
Yeah.
die, would you want your wife to get remarried?
No.
No.
I
Does-
want.
have you
I would
told her
want
that?
her and my daughter to crawl inside my casket and be buried alive with me, and I want them to suffocate on top of my body.
Would you really not want your wife to get remarried?
No. I would not.
Tom?
Were you here last week when I talked about staring her down when she had
Tom
clown
knows
makeup
Well, I
on?
thought you maybe have lightened up a little bit.
No, worse. Getting worse.
I have no care what happens after I die because guess what? When the lights are off and I will have no idea and cease to exist.
All right, so she can get remarried.
Imagine my wife getting ram jammed on my purple mattress in my house.
Oh.
Somebody
Samantha?
else is stepping in to be the daddy.
I'm a little in between both Tom and Dan because at one
Yeah,
end
yeah,
I don't want him to be happy without me, but also like, what do I give a fuck? I'm dead. I wouldn't know if he's happy or not.
Well, the what do I give a fuck part is given because of course. I mean, she can do whatever she wants once
Yeah.
I'm dead.
No, but she doesn't want
I just have enough balls to say how I feel, which is
Yeah.
I want my entire family to cease living when I die.
That's a step further.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm ballsy enough to say
So
that's how I
murder,
feel.
suicide.
I think most people feel that way. I think if
I
you
don't.
I think if you search deep down inside your soul,
I don't.
No, but you're too worried about what.
No, I'm not worried. I
I'm
don't-
on the news and I help the sheriff.
No.
You know, and you're too worried about that.
What
You're-
about the sheriff?
Yeah, you're
the
worried about the sheriff.
What if the sheriff wants to marry your
If
wife?
you were able to be, and I don't believe there's anything past when, like, I agree with Tom. When the lights go out, the lights go out. But if you were able to hover above and see what your wife was doing, if she leans in for that big kiss with Marshawn Lynch, you're going to be jealous and you're going to wish that they both died in a car accident.
Travis?
I'm with Tom. I don't think I'll give a fuck.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
big talkers here. Big talkers.
Also,
wait, is there a time period though?
No,
is there
never
a
a time
grace period of
no.
she has to be alone for...
No, it's immediately.
No, we know what's happening.
Here's the thing. I've talked to my wife about this, and usually it's because I'm trying to ward off her like divorcing me. I'm like, listen, we all know, by we all as me and her. I'm like, you leave me or whatever, I'm gone. I mean, you're gonna turn into a hoarder bird lady. It's inevitable. 100%. Do you want that for yourself? No. Okay.
My God, that sounds kind of fucked up. So you say that to her to keep her to stay with.
Yeah, mind the coupon when I push it underneath the door.
If you see, something come through the
coffin
doorknob hole, don't go whacking it with a broom.
So then he says, that shit hit home hard, and I can relate. I'm 32 and have been raised the Florida man way. It's hard for me to be truly scared about how much, but dying is one of them. I've always had the fear, but now I have kids and a wife and big boy bills. It's eating me alive. I don't sleep at night but a few hours. Afraid of dying in my sleep, I don't go a lot of places with a lot of people. Like I'm drowning in my own breath. I don't honestly know why I'm emailing you about this. You don't know me, but hearing someone else is somewhat going through this helps me a lot. Mad respect for what you and Tom do.
Well, is he afraid of dying because now he's afraid of like leaving his wife and kids with a financial hardship? Get some cheap life insurance.
Yeah, but that's a different type of... I'm not worried about that. My wife's capable. My daughter's smart. They'd be all right.
Yeah, and you got life insurance.
They're probably better off without me anyway. Right now, I'm just the anchor.
Yeah.
I'm just the old pod anchor.
Yeah.
Holding them down.
when they'll be finally free from the clutches of
they're like, all right,
the warden Dennis.
Get in his coffin. All right, start scooping the dirt.
You're not going to get in her coffin though. If she were to go first.
No. It's a horrible double standard.
Yeah, so you get to remarry?
Yeah. I wouldn't get remarried, though, just out of respect.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to put somebody in her position with Maisie. So I would just, I'd just have floozies stop by my double wide and be banging them out. And occasionally I'd jerk off some guy.
I know this is easier said than done for this gentleman, but, worrying about dying all the time is pointless because you're worrying about something that is inevitable.
Yeah.
And there's no way for any of us to ever stop it.
You can't avoid it.
And you will. So then I understand he's kind of worried about dying young, but just don't think about it. Like everything I say is like thinking about your own mortality all the time is going to be stressful for you, and it's not going to change anything because guess what? If you think about it every day, eventually you'll be right. So
hey, that's
then
what you tell me.
Yeah, you spent your whole time worrying about dying, and then you die, and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have worried about it so much. That's a regret, Like when Daniel says, he's like, I'm dying. I'm like, no, you're not, but one day you'll be right. One day you'll say that and
I'll be like, see?
As Tom's murdering you.
No,
you're dying.
I don't think he would. If anybody's going to murder me, it's going to be Travis.
Yeah.
I bully him incessantly. Bad. The bullying's been bad this week, hasn't it? I ramped it up a little bit. I apologize.
It's okay.
Things at home are a little rough.
It's okay, baby.
All right, next.
Thank you, sweet
voicemail.
Oh, sorry. I got one.
Oh, my God. Line up.
Oh, no, not that one. Sorry, I picked the wrong one. It's this one.
Hey everyone, this is some guy calling in reference to Tom talking about not being as skilled as Dan in doing voices. Doesn't Tom understand that one of our favorite aspects is awkward Tom? So it's not necessarily that Dan is better with voices, but if Tom did it, we knew he'd be terribly uncomfortable, which would increase the entertainment value 100-fold. All right, that's all.
Yes. If I try to do something, I'm awkward about it. You guys are laughing at me. I understand the comedy behind that, but the problem is you do that over and over, and then it stops becoming funny to laugh at my awkwardness. And Daniel is, besides from just being comfortable at joke phone calls or voices or whatever, he's super quick when it comes to him doing the
We haven't
voice
done
and
him in
being
a while,
able to
though.
play that character. Like, Daniel's not just doing a voice. He gets into the character, and then that's why it's funny. And if you listen to the show for a long time, you've heard him do it, and he's the best I've ever heard
thank
at
you,
it.
man.
But
I appreciate it. Are we going to bring back straight talks? I mean, I think that's
Yes,
basically what this guy wants us to do, is bring back some straight talks. I know
There's
that
some straight talks.
some people don't like those, though, because they can be uncomfortable.
We could do fishing for scumbags. The problem is, I've never understood this. Okay, Buzz Eric, explain this to me. So, a while back, we stopped doing fishing for scumbags.
I don't even know what that is.
We used to put up
fake Craigslist ads and
then
mess with the people that would call.
Yeah. So we just put up like a box of one time we did a box of affliction shirts that fell off a truck or whatever. Like
and then I said they fell off a truck. Some of them have tire marks, but most are in good condition.
So
and
these are people that are excited that they could get something.
And then they call our show,
And then you fuck with them.
Daniel would
Yeah.
just play different characters. He did it with a broken hovercraft one time. That's where Jeserton Road came from. He did it with
a mini bike,
an old Astro van, the Boyagi.
the Boyagi van. I did
so
a
the
hot
people who
tub.
are already on Craigslist,
right?
Maybe not the.
Well, we'd put
That's why it was called fishing with scumbags.
Okay.
We'd find a shit item that a certain type of people
Hovercraft
would,
was the
broken.
Tom's
Like
idea.
who's
Yeah.
gonna like a broken hovercraft,
Yes.
and then who's gonna call?
People
Anyway,
that are already down in their life. Look, you're already just
Well,
gonna
I
keep
mean,
shitting
like,
on them.
we just
How
always
dare
thought that if you're surfing Craigslist for anything, you're sort of a piece of shit.
All right.
That was
especially in
more
the free
my
section.
theory. Although I think Tom had to swallow some pride and be like, "Oh, that's true." Then meanwhile, he's like over there surfing.
I just exit out.
I caught him a few times. He'd be like, "A hovercraft? What?" I'd be like, "That's us." Okay.
The problem is in Florida, you're supposed to. There's like some sort of wiretapping law or whatever. That you have to have it's dual.
Both parties have to say yes.
Yeah, it's like they have to know they're being recorded. Both parties. Some states like Nevada, that's
Even
where they
California, I
did
think.
crank acre.
Or no, California's like us.
Yeah.
It's Nevada.
But I've heard Corolla talk about when they have to do back in the crank anchors.
They're bringing that back.
They
you know.
drove to
Oh, they are?
Vegas to do it from
'cause
Vegas.
it's only one party there.
Yeah. So anyway, we were like, hey, we got to stop doing this because then it's, getting the person, you'd have to call them back and be like, hey, we're using that, get them a sign a consent form. Oh, fuck it.
Well, what if I?
But
okay,
what could they do, really?
if I had a Vegas,
Are they going to sue us
They
for
might.
what?
They might.
let me
I don't
ask you
know.
this: if I had a Vegas
Kramer told us
number,
not to do it.
if I had a Vegas number that I routed through our call system, and then
No.
only did people in Vegas,
I don't know because I don't know what the penalty is. And this whole rule wasn't made for wacky morning shows doing prank calls.
No.
It was made for like fucking like mobster shit, like not being able to record someone without their knowledge
How
of it.
was that? How was Mel Gibson's wife able to record him yelling about the dinner and shit?
It was probably in a state that you only need one party consent.
God, that's good audio.
Yeah.
Those
If it
fucking
wasn't,
Mel Gibson audio was so
then
good.
he could sue her. But the
I
thing is,
think
like,
some of that was on voicemail, right? So then you know it's being recorded.
Well, no, she'd be talking to
Yeah.
him, and then
I think he left a couple voicemails too. But yeah, you're right. There was some where she was responding.
Yeah, weird.
But it's same thing with Dog the Bounty Hunter and his son recording him when he was screaming the N-word and shit like that. So it must have been a one-party consent thing. Anyway, but it's like, what am I worried about though? Like, whether these people going to call the phone police? Like
Right, the phone
like,
police.
I guess they could get a lawyer. Like, but think about it. So if we did it and then the person then found out it was on this podcast or whatever, and they're like, I'm pissed. Then they call their lawyer and then they say what? Like, I'm going to sue this podcast because
They made me look like a fool.
They did do something illegal that made me look like a fool. But then they're like, well, did anybody know it was you? What kind of damages did you receive? Like,
Right.
nothing.
It'll
whatever.
get dismissed,
Like,
yeah.
like, it's like, what possibly could happen? But like I said, our lawyer told us not to.
Yeah. All the
Or
fun
if,
shit's gone.
or if we record it, then you have to go get the person's permission after and all this stuff, which I'm sure they would give.
Yeah, hey, I know I just made you look like a racist piece of shit. Can I have permission to laugh at your expense on my show?
Although we could do it from people like telemarketers from different countries and shit. We used to do it with like the IRS calls and stuff. They're already scammers, so those are open.
It's not as much fun though, because a lot of the nuances and the things they don't get it.
No, yeah, and
You know?
they hang up a lot quicker than they used
Yeah,
to.
they don't want to waste time anymore.
As soon as you know or they know or think that the person's fucking with them, because now everybody's doing it because they're putting it on Facebook and shit. then they hang
Did
up
you see that
immediately.
story? There was a story this week. I think it was like a couple of days ago where a telemarketer from Jamaica who was like a scam caller called a guy, but he was like really, he was retired, but he's really high up in the FBI. And he called him and he threatened like not only that guy and his wife, but he said he's going to fucking kill him and chop their hands off and all this kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And so then that guy ended up just having the FBI investigated. They found the guy and arrested him.
He was the former like CIA, like
the highest
the
level.
highest-
Yeah.
No shit.
And they got the guy injured, but they like flew over there and fucking arrested him. Now he's in jail.
Let's do one more. Was it
You want an
voicemail
email?
or email?
Email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to besmirch all of your hard work, but I think we can all agree that the single greatest aspect of all of your content is when Tom provides sound effects to the stories he tells. His Foley work might be the one thing he does that is his purest expression of his soul. He's basically the perfect cross between Michael Winslow and, I don't know, a stand-up jet ski or something. Please isolate that stuff and sync it up to scenes from an action movie. I'm begging you.
Well, thank you, sir, for the compliment. I think it's
You are the Michael Winslow of the show.
I am the jet ski Michael Winslow, which I have no idea. That's definitely an insult. But I think it's my lack of ability to find the right words. I have a small vocabulary, so I just end up relying on sound effects like an animal. So it's not impressive, sir. It's I'm just compensating for my being an idiot.
You did it. In our,
I almost go, wow.
in our chat room, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive, you can watch all of our shows live. BDM Carter says, real shit, one of the clients I represent started doing freelance marketing. I guess he sent a release to Tom and Dan, heard him on Straight Talk, and I lost my mind. I wonder who that was. One of my favorites.
The Straight Talk we don't need releases for because we tell the person we're recording this for a show.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
One of my favorites was the giraffe meat guy. I love that guy.
There's been a bunch, yeah. But yeah, if someone calls in for an interview, that's fine because they're doing an interview. Or if someone calls in and you just tell them, hey, you're being recorded, then you're fine. You're completely clear. All you have to say is, hey, I'm recording this, and that's it. But
he says his name was Chuck Gallagher. I don't remember who that was.
Chuck Gallagher.
I'll have to look him up now.
Yeah. But, I mean, we did more than a dozen of them, so.
A lot of people don't like him, you know.
Well, it makes them awkward, yeah. It's either you like it or you fucking hate it. Bussick, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, there's a service, and I got it from back in the day when I worked in radio, and basically, and you probably know about it, there's companies that are like publicity or publicist companies that say
it's just a book.
Say you're,
it's a giant book of people you can book as guests.
Well, what they offer as a service. So say there's this company called like publicity.com. So you wrote a book and you're like, I have no way to market this, I have no whatever. So you go to publicity.com and they're like, okay, well, for, $100 a month, what we'll do is we'll reach out and we'll blast out your book to every media agency that we are partners with, every radio station across the country and all this stuff. And then you'll probably get some sort of interviews, hopefully, like one of these small AM stations or whatever, like we'll need you and then we'll do an interview with you and then you promote your book, and then it's just a base fee. So I don't know how successful they are, probably not, like next to nothing, because most of the people, they're like, hey, this person wrote a book about giraffes or whatever, and like, who is gonna interview them? What morning show
This
is that
happens
desperate?
a lot after tragedies. Like when I was a reporter at the newspaper, if something terrible happened, you would get a lot of phone calls into the newsroom. Hey, I'm an expert on mass shootings. Do you want to interview me or my
Because they get
client?
free publicity and they so it's all that. So anyway, that's where we just I used to just like I tried to say please stop emailing me and they wouldn't stop. And even this after I stopped with the radio station, and then I was just like, wow, shit, we'll take this interview. And then that started Straight Talk. Basically, we'd take the interview and then we would pretend to be a bumbling fucking radio station. I'd be the host, and then Daniel would be the caller, and then you just fuck
we'd
with
start out as the two
they
of us.
promote
and
their
then
book
I would
or
just
whatever.
slip away, and then it'd be like 101 things to do with your lover on Valentine's Day. We'd have this lady on, and then I'd just be fucking with her. I'd be like some old black guy in a trailer. My dog's barking, and I'm like,
the guest
never on the carpet, like just do some crazy shit.
The guest just never really knew that it was like we were fucking with them, and it would air and shit, so they'd get their plugs.
Yeah.
So we looked like it was a win-win for everybody.
All right.
Yeah, that was it. We'll bring it back.
Yeah, we're definitely
all
gonna do it. You want to take a break now?
Yeah, let's take a break. When we come back, we got some news.
We got a guest too.
We got a guest.
Special birthday guest.
Yeah, birthday guest.
And
get your pee-pee sucked.
Come on. Real quick, we got the White Claw competition still going on. You could win a visit to the studio. We're doing a White Claw party. Just use hashtag ClawMe when you drink White Claw. If you purchase White Claw, maybe you go to ABC and you buy some White Claw. Use the hashtag, post a photo. We're going to pick 2 winners at the end of this month.
Oh, our neighborhood ABC. I just went up there.
Yeah.
They got every flavor.
Oh, yeah.
They
Mango,
got
too?
They got the 6-packs of mango and raspberry.
No
Yeah,
shit.
the 6-packs.
The where is that?
Corinne.
Corinne. Okay,
So if you're in the greater Orlando area, if you go to Corinne, like that ABC liquor.
Yeah.
By the way, that they just redid that store. They got their humidor, and then they get like that. Have you been in the new one?
No.
The one in Audubon.
Yeah. They just remodeled. It's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
It looks so good. But yeah, they got every kind of White Claw. So if you're on a hunt, they got mango and raspberry in the 6-packs, and they got the multi-packs, the big ones. So.
Oh, did you reply to August's email about the
Airbirds?
Air Claws?
Yeah.
We're getting White Claw shoes.
Yeah, we're all getting White Claw shoes.
Nice. Do you want some? What size are you?
11
Big.
and a half.
11 and a half.
Oh, my God.
Big
claw.
claws.
Oh, my God, your poor wife. My God, after last night, he's, woo. My God.
I feel every time Buster comes in, he's like, should I keep doing this?
No, you should. The answer is no.
I do think that. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll be back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. 1-844-TOMNDAN. Show at tomandan.com if you want to get in that last-minute email. This is the Old Firm Casuals, and we'll be right back. To me, that guy's voice sounds exactly like Kurt Cobain for some reason.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Like that gravelly, like kind of a throwback grunge sound. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
And, oh, my God, sorry. I was going to
Did I
continue
get a new song?
I was going to continue to rock out. Is it now time
Let's do it.
for the bus decker here?
Get on the bus, get on the bus, bid no bid. Get on the bus, get on the bus, bid no bid. Get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus. Get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus.
Hey.
News today brought to you by Fairvilla Megastore. You can go to fairvilla.com for locations, but they got their OBT original huge location right there. Also a location over on Cape Canaveral, one on I Drive, one in Secrets Hideaway in Kissimmee, one down in Key West. So head on over to Fairvilla Megastore. I know they did a lot of stuff for Valentine's Day, but they have a bunch of products from massage oil to the straight up giant dongs. If you want that.
They do.
Right?
Do they have coupon books?
They
probably
do have a book.
Yeah, they have dirty dice. I know that. They have this balls that goes over your balls, and it's like, ah!
That's the tagline.
Yeah, the tagline, just like the promo, it just says, like, what's it called? Like Tugger or something, or Bull Tugger. And then in parentheses, or excuse me, in quotation marks, it just says, yeah!
Yeah. We did a full show, a full ACT from live from
difficult.
Fairvilla. Yeah. We went through all the
A lot of
products
people liked it, though.
Yeah.
I'll bet. Were you giggling the whole time?
We're trying not to
Butler was
was.
walking around touching everything like a fucking baby.
There's a giant doo-doo fly that
Yeah,
keeps
there's one in
coming
there. There was one in the
around.
bathroom that kept landing on my pecker.
It's big. They're
First-
growing.
First story.
All right, so I will say before I start here, I spend hours getting ready for the news, preparing, writing, searching the internet, and then I get here and you guys say, do this story.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to sort of just kind of go over. I didn't write this one. I'm just kind of looking at what you gave me here. So.
Well, we printed it out from the fucking
but I don't
internet.
want to read it how they have it written because it's really long. But anyway, there's a popular YouTube star named Blippi.
Here we go!
Come on, everyone, let's make learning fun. So much to learn about, it'll make you want to shout.
Blippi!
So Blippi's a 30-year-old.
I had it in my 90s.
He's a 30-year-old.
You'll see why that's funny in a minute.
Character created by a guy named Stephen John, and he has millions and millions of views on YouTube. He does sort of a kid show where he explores buses and parks and grocery stores.
He basically does what you do, Bustecker, just for kids.
And he makes money.
And,
at it.
yeah,
I told him he should be the next
4
Blippi.
million fucking subscribers
So-
on YouTube.
So
My God.
just to give a
We have a
backstory
Blippi fan.
of Blippi, he started off on YouTube, and then Netflix bought his content. And now he's on Netflix. My sons watch him all the time.
Maisie's a Blippi. What do they call themselves? Blippers?
Something like that. It says they have 7. All of his channels together have 7 billion views.
Oh my God.
He gets around 400 million views a month. Anyway, the point of that, I'm not just telling you all about Blippi.
I want to look at Blippi's
He's a YouTube
network.
star that now is on Netflix, and he's a multimillionaire at this point.
But back in 2013, he did a video where he pooped on some people. Yeah, it was a Harlem Shake video where he had diarrhea on another man.
I like Bustecker explaining. Now, here's...
So he wasn't Blippi then. He was...
Oh, my God.
Come on.
This isn't the act. Oh, no.
No,
the video's not live. So he
I'm
had
going to put this
another...
on Twitch.
He had another...
All right, come on.
There it is.
You good? He had another name. He went by Steezy Grossman.
Yeah.
And he was doing basically gross out prank videos.
Yeah.
And
Like
then-
Jackass style.
Yes.
stuff.
And then he stopped doing that and he started this whole Blippi thing.
You want to be upset? What do you think Blippi's worth?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that he
10
makes,
million?
according to this is the BuzzFeed wrote that he could possibly make between 100,000 and 1.6 million per month. In ad revenue.
Yeah, he's worth
But
25
it's
million.
not just him.
25 million?
25 million.
It's not just. I mean, he has a production company and all that.
Yeah.
He's a
He makes some
retired
money.
Air Force guy, and
Oh,
he's
really?
making
Oh, I didn't know that.
$25 million.
So
I
when
should have read the story you gave me.
What's interesting about this is so he did this Harlem Shake video, and apparently there's a lot of these Harlem
Shake poop video.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Samantha tried to research this. We tried to find the actual.
I found everything but that.
We tried to find Steezy Grossman's videos, and they are gone.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy scraped the internet hard.
So apparently, back this guy, he seems like he was trying to be social media star or whatever, getting out videos and he did like a shit video with a person that was participating in this.
Yeah,
like
consensual.
It was a consensual shit
This
video.
doesn't bother me in the least.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of gross,
adults.
but you're right.
Yeah.
Now,
It's fine.
what's interesting is how Netflix is going to handle it, because if this guy was just still a YouTube star, it wouldn't matter because he doesn't work for anybody. It's interesting. Like for us, we live in a different realm than if we work for a big company because we cannot be fired. Like the only way that our company would go under is if we had a mass exodus of BDMs or listeners or whatever, and it would have to be lots of our listeners leave, and then it would crumble our company. But for people like him, he's employed by Netflix now, and Netflix is buying his content, so Netflix could easily decide like no more if they get enough complaints or whatever, or they got parents that are like,
I don't think Netflix is that kind of company, though.
Dude,
They're not like ABC, you know what I mean?
If
They have a lot of controversial stuff on their programming anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like they have like.
What's interesting if Blippi had maybe a racist tweet, would this be different? You know, like if
maybe that, yeah.
You know, like or a inappropriate tweet that was maybe borderline
Hey, I'm gonna
homophobic.
shit on these guys.
Well, that's hateful.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just
I
him
know.
shitting
You're
on
right.
his friend.
You're right.
That wanted him to shit on him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's fine.
I mean, the other guy being shat on was in my opinion more important than even Blippi shitting.
And it's
You know?
interesting.
Yeah,
in the
but what about his persona as a kid's person? As a kid,
But this video is like pretty much
Hey,
impossible
haven't you ever
to
read the
find.
kid's book Everybody Poops?
But he
I
wasn't
know, but, yeah,
Blippi.
but you know, everybody doesn't poop on each other. Though.
Well, I mean, that's the follow-up book.
But go back. I mean, I don't want to compare the two, but I mean, if you can't have Mr. Rogers pooping on other people.
Yeah, but I
like,
mean,
he has a persona.
But
and,
it would also be like, wouldn't it be naive to think that Mr. Rogers never came on Mrs. Rogers' face?
Right.
You know, I mean,
yeah, there's now if there's a video,
or at
out
least
there-
he asked for it. You know.
The thing is, like, we all have this understanding.
Get out of here, Charlie.
You bring up an interesting point because we all have an understanding when we see like let's
Yeah.
say child
Like Captain Kangaroo got a
characters.
blowjob.
Yeah. He's probably blown a load on Miss Kangaroo. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but and like so we see.
I'm gonna do that tonight.
We have an understanding that like these politicians or judges or whatever else that hold themselves up in high regard or whatever probably have done a lot of these things at their home life or whatever, and we all
that's different than videoing it and putting it on
yes,
YouTube.
you're right. But
a jackass.
but it existed.
But you can't find it.
But you wouldn't put Steve-O as a kid's entertainer, would you?
Well,
Not
if
at this
he-
point.
But if he what
If
about
he was
Mick,
playing a
what about
character.
Mick Foley? Mick Foley has a line of very popular children's books, but at the same time, extreme violence, knocking his tooth through his
Yeah.
nose, fall into a cage, fighting
Yeah.
a guy that believes in the devil. You know, I mean, is that acceptable?
I guess it.
I don't know.
I don't care.
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing. I like my kids watch Blippi. I can give two shits if he's
He'll give you two shits.
shit on
See what you
someone
did
back
there.
in the day. I kind of lean more towards I've had
you've been in there.
I've had
You have
videos.
a video of you being pissed off.
Yeah. And I pissed on like I was thinking about myself with this.
You R. Kelly'd somebody?
No.
Oh.
I did in the movie Counterparts. There was this dude I ended up
Talk
peeing on.
yourself.
He was at a friend's party and he was kind of a douche bro. And
Talk about your 14-year-old penis.
he ended
No,
up.
no.
Oh, yeah. Say it.
He
Tell 'em all.
passed out on the front lawn of this house party, and me and my buddy Andy peed on him as a joke, like peed on his legs. But that I can
You know what?
imagine.
I'm changing the way I feel about you. right now.
You should. And then my buddy peed on me in this video. So if there's video of this, and we sold thousands of copies, so it exists out in the world. If I ever became a child, star on YouTube or whatever, because I've thought about it. I was like, these guys are making a shit ton of money just playing with toys or like just being, like a kid's personality going to like Discovery Zone or not even
Discovery Zone.
But
God.
the guys, he's going to the science
A
center.
couple of kids going to,
you don't even know where kids go.
Just a couple of kids using a rotary phone going to Eckerd drugs.
I was just saying, and he's playing this character, and he's like over the top, and then but these videos exist of me out there. And
You don't worry about that, right?
well, I never planned to do that, but I don't think I could ever do that because of these videos.
I think you can. I mean, I think they're completely separate. I mean,
Depends
to
how
me,
bad they are.
I guess it's case by case, parent to parent. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure there are some parents that are like, you can't ever watch Blippi again because when Blippi was Steezy Grossman, he shit on his friend.
Well, we wouldn't
But then
even
you have to
say
have that conversation.
No, you don't. You just say you can't watch Blippi anymore
then the
because
kid's gonna be like, why?
Blippi's a bad man.
Also, the fact that you can't find the video, I think helps the
How
guy
did he
a
do
lot.
that?
yeah,
How
well-
did he do that? Somebody's got
Well,
it.
they
right?
said
Yeah.
in this whole long thing, he was like an SEO expert, and he knows. I mean, he knows how to do all that. So I
But
don't know.
somebody's got it, and they're
Oh, yeah.
waiting to the
Oh,
right
yeah.
time.
No, well, BuzzFeed watched it.
Well, how do I get it? I want a copy
I
of
don't
Blippi
know.
shitting on his friend.
Get the police to harass him for his phone.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start that conversation again.
So there you go, Blippi
All right.
shitting on people.
Buzzer's mad we made him read
No.
We've done what we swore never to do. It's like having your clients dictate the show. We did that.
Now we're dictating.
We're like, you read this, you piece of shit.
You want me to go to the next story, though?
Yeah,
All right.
do it.
So one of the bigger stories, we talked about Jeff Bezos last week. We'll talk about Amazon this week. They pulled out of New York. They were going to build this big HQ2, the second headquarters. They announced it last year. You guys remember? I think we talked about this. They did this whole search.
But they had people buying for it, right?
States were bidding on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So why go to a state that you're not wanted anyway?
So, New York was going to give them $3 billion in tax incentives. And some people in New York said, well, we're not going to give you all that money, or we don't want to give it to you anymore because you're like the world's richest company, or one of them. Why should we give you $3 billion? And so they announced on Thursday that they weren't going to build their headquarters there now. So now they're going to build it in, they were always going to build it in Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah.
And a very smaller one in Nashville, but they're just not going to build this one in New York now.
But wouldn't it bring a shit ton of jobs?
So according to this, the company planned to spend $2.5 billion building the New York office, and then Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio had argued that the project would spur economic growth that would pay for the $2.8 billion in state and city incentives. So they're saying, yes, first of all, the building would come, and then you'd have all these jobs that are there.
Yeah.
And then that would sort of pay it all back. That's always this whole idea when it comes to tax incentives. Yeah, we'll give you $1 billion to do this, but we're going to make it back up in local taxes and jobs and all that.
So why was the area or the community?
Because some of the people
anti-Amazon.
Some of them are saying, well, a lot of those jobs won't even go to people that already live here in our community. They're going to go to people that are going to come move here.
Yeah.
And they might not even live in our town. So this is going to be built on Long Island City, which is in Queens.
Yeah.
So they might not even reap those benefits. Also,
I mean, but they could get those jobs, could they not?
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people don't want, especially you're like, oh, I don't want a minimum wage job at the sorting plant at Amazon.
Well, this is like a headquarters. This is like a tech. These will be tech jobs.
Oh, okay.
But the other side of it is, why should we give a company that is arguably the world's largest company, or one of them? They have all this money. Why do we need to give them $3 billion? Why don't they just build it?
Well, because
wherever?
they'll say, well, this state isn't going to give it to us, so we'll move there, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah,
so it's like,
well, they will. Yeah.
Like
so then they're saying, well, why don't we just spend this $3 billion on things we need instead of just giving it to them as great jobs?
Because they're not giving the money; they're giving it to them as a tax incentive. So basically,
I'm not arguing. I mean,
I know.
I get it.
I think dumb people don't understand. Not that these people are dumb or anything, but I don't know the whole thing. So maybe the people of New York are right, and it wasn't advantageous for them to host Amazon as the headquarters. But I imagine some people in their mind, they're like, you're going to give Amazon $3 billion? They're rich already. Fuck them. They're protesting and shit. And they're like, no. We're just giving them $3 billion in tax incentives. So they're not spending as much taxes.
It's not like we're coming out of our coffers to make this happen.
It's just they're going to give us $3 billion less, but they're still going to give us a shit ton more than we're getting now. And they're bringing in jobs, and the housing is going to go up. And
that's one of the grievances.
People
it says here the
themselves.
list of grievances against the project grew as the months wore on, with critics complaining about Amazon's stance on unions, which is big up in New York, and that some residents in Long Island City were scared that the arrival of this big company would drive all their rents up and all their costs up. So if you live there, is your rent going to be so high that you can't live there in 10 years?
It would probably drive the cost of rent up, but technically that would drive the cost of everything up in the neighborhood and help some people, hurt some people. That's the way it works. And I just feel like a lot of people are uninformed on how this would really affect them.
Including us.
Yeah. But, well, I can understand if you, say you rent in Orlando and they're going to build the headquarters in there, and then obviously they're going to have to bring in a shit ton of employees, and rent costs go up and stuff like that. But the greater good of the whole community, I feel like, would benefit from Amazon building the headquarters there.
I sort of agree with you.
It just depends. I mean, if you're somebody that's lived there 50 years, then all of a sudden,
yeah, but you're not going to matter in 20 more.
Fine, 25. Should you be kicked out for a company?
Well,
I don't know.
But you got to look to the future too,
I
right?
agree.
Like,
I agree.
If it were like to make Orlando better, I mean, like I pulled an article today that kind of goes along with this as far as like what how do you fit within the table of our society at a specific age? And you, my friend, as of today, have reached the age officially, based on a Washington Post a study that they did. 37 is the age where the vast majority of the people within the United States are now younger than you. 37 is the age you reach.
No, really?
Yeah.
So most people
it just so happens.
are younger.
I was Googling
Yeah.
things about 37 to see if I could find something to talk to you about. And 37 just so happens that 37 is the age where at like 30, I think it's, I can pull it up right here.
Aren't I in? I should be in the window of like max earning potential,
like power
at this,
years.
At
So
this time. No, seriously,
I can see that.
You, everything's a spectrum. You go through 20s, whatever. You get to a certain point where you're earning the most, and then you it tails off.
Okay, so
as you get
if you're 30,
old.
58% of the American population is older than you, while 40% of the population is younger than you. If you're 50, 32% of the American population is older than you, while 67% is younger than you. At 37, that's the perfect age of, boom, now the vast majority of the people that live in the United States. It might be only like 51%, but 37 is the age that you reach where now the vast majority of people are younger than you, not older than you.
I gauge my age and how old I am.
A rapper now.
Off of
my age.
Off of NFL players. Like in my
They're
mind,
all younger than you.
Well, not all of them.
Most of them.
Brady's older, and the old
Barely.
Janikowski.
You guys could hang out. It wouldn't be weird.
Until I get to
Matt
the point,
Bryant, who just got released from the Falcons.
Until I get to the point where I'm older than every single NFL player currently playing, then I'll feel old. Right now,
just
fine.
a few years.
No, Brady's gonna play till he's 45. So I got time.
All right, so this is sort of Valentine's Day inspired a little bit. A Vermont couple who met while working at their local Walmart decided to get married there.
At Walmart?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can see. You can't shake your head.
No, I'm shaking it.
No, you can't.
Because of all my
I got
acumen.
married at a Predators game.
That's still fancier than
No,
Walmart.
I contend that's being married at a sporting Walmart. The only thing difference is that at your game in Walmart is that there's less food at the game than there is in the Walmart. Everything else, the people are the same. They got football.
So William and Joanne Cicely Boulanger.
That's a great last name, the Boulangers.
Yeah, exchanged vows in the flower department at the store in Berlin, Vermont, where they met as co-workers years ago. He recently joined the military, and they had their wedding at the store so they could share their special day with friends and family and coworkers.
That's kind of cool.
And they're going to have a real wedding, a traditional ceremony.
That's what you did.
Later on.
Did they get permission, or did they
I
just
think
do it?
they
in the...
just run in and do their vows real
They
quick.
did it
and get out.
like, what are those things called? Flash mob style? Quick, do it.
Walmart, and I have no idea.
You're very anti-Walmart, and I'm pro-Walmart.
I'm not anti. Well,
I like going to Walmart.
I don't.
I enjoy it.
Why? What do you like about it?
It's big, and I like walking all the aisles. I like just looking at stuff.
I like the idea of all the stuff there. I just don't. They had the worst customer service there.
See, I don't need anybody when I go to Walmart.
Yeah, but you need them when you go check out, and there's like 2 people for 100 lanes.
I just do self-checkout.
But it's also the clientele that are also surrounding you in the Walmart could not be the higher echelon of society.
But I see that everywhere. I go to Publix, I see some assholes.
Well,
I go to Target, I see some assholes.
Yeah, but the concentration. I
just keep to myself.
Yeah,
I think you guys are very judgmental.
If I have a choice, I'll go to Publix over Walmart.
I would too. But like, there's sometimes that like Target doesn't have enough.
Oh, you're right. No,
Publix doesn't have enough. Like if I'm
Agreed.
looking for like,
Or it's way too expensive.
what if I'm looking for fishing tackle or worms or something?
Totally.
You got to go to Walmart.
Totally agree.
Go to a one-off fishing store to support
Where am I
small
going to find
business.
that in Orlando?
There's a bunch of
There is one in
fishing
Audubon Park.
tackle.
What, the old fly fisherman?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to pay $100 for one worm, that place is crazy. I went in there one time, I priced a Columbia shirt. It's like $99. I'm like,
Well,
yeah.
the
I'll
prices
go to
have to be
Walmart.
up because they can't compete with Walmart. That's why they're going out of business.
And unfortunately, I'm going to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
The also Walmart, and like I said, I don't know, but it's got to be a bad corporation to work for. Like if
Depends
you're
on where you're at in that corporation.
You're right. Yeah, if you're one of the what are they fucking what's their last names? The owners
Waltons?
of Waltons. Yeah. They any part of that family, yeah, you love it. But if you're just a cashier or a stock person or whatever, like low on the totem pole, it's probably one of the like stereotypical evil corporations. I mean, Amazon's the same way. Remember, they were a bunch of people were bitching about working for Amazon, and they had the pee-pee in a cup because they keep track of their pee
Wait,
breaks.
they put their penis in a cup?
No, they're just
I'm confused.
They're tracking them so they know when they go to the bathroom and stuff, and they don't
My
get
old
paid.
job did that.
Yeah, they don't pay you for like it's
your old job.
Yeah, you could not get out of the computer system. You were only supposed to get out of the computer system on your break. Otherwise, they track it, and it actually affects you.
How did it know you'd have to leave?
You have to sign out.
And then so if you signed out to go take a shit, and then came back and signed back in, that would be a blemish on your record?
Yep.
So how are you supposed to go potty?
Right.
Well, you get a certain amount of breaks, I'm sure.
Yeah, you get 2 15-minute breaks.
Yeah. And then
you got to get everything done in those 15 minutes.
Oh, I can't do that. It takes me 15 minutes to unbutton my pants.
Well, that's the thing.
Go to the bathroom, get some water.
Slow. I'm very slow.
And I don't even fault them. They're a fucking corporation. That's what they're. That's what they do. They're supposed to be the most efficient at making money as possible. But with that comes a certain amount of treating their employees like shit, right?
To a degree.
Doesn't have to, but
it's just when you're that corporate, that's the thing. It's like those rules were made. Like, all right, how do we make? And then for you, you're like, well, this is kind of shitty. I can't go and just take a random pee break because I have to sign out and stuff. But they put those in place to monitor their employees to make sure they're getting maximum efficiency, and that's what every big corporation does. It's just, when you're the hourly employee, you're looking at it like, oh, this fucking place sucks and doesn't give two shits about me,
Which is true.
Which, they don't. And
All right, so speaking of fishing, Kentucky fisherman who used part of a biscuit to reel in a fish is now an internet sensation because the fish he caught is a 20-pound goldfish.
That big fat goldfish. I saw that, and he caught it with a biscuit.
So, and where in a lake?
Yeah, so Hunter Anderson, which is a very Kentucky name, I feel like.
It is.
Said he was fishing with his girlfriend in a private pond in Kentucky when he decided to use a piece of Lee's famous recipe biscuit.
Oh, we have Lee's around here.
good.
Yeah, there's
as
one in
bait.
Sanford. Yeah.
So Anderson said he quickly got a bite, setting off a difficult battle before he managed to land the fish, which appears to be an unusually large goldfish or koi fish.
Did he keep it?
So I'm getting no, he didn't. He threw it back.
No.
So he
kill
said,
it. You got to beat it to death.
So
Oh my
they
God.
Put the photo on Facebook. It got a bunch of
Yeah, but nobody's
going
going to believe it. You have to keep it alive to prove to everybody you caught it, and then beat it with a stick.
They joked that maybe it was a family pet that got flushed down the toilet. But he said he threw it back. He said, "What am I going to do with it? I thought it deserved to swim another day."
He's a good man.
Well, I remember, and people probably remember the story of when we caught those goldfish at the fair in front of OLE.
What were their names? Stanley and Samson?
You caught the goldfish?
Well, we played a
won
game.
'em in the-
Right.
And then so my wife, then we had the goldfish in a bag. Me and Dana were really drunk after watching Highlight.
And we went to Denny's.
Did you eat it?
No.
Oh.
Well, we then my wife made me drive to Walmart in the middle of the night and get a get a tank and all the fucking rocks.
So
and
you
everything.
did go to Walmart.
Yeah, because she's an animal lover and she didn't.
Well, couldn't you just put it in there for like a day and then go tomorrow and get the tank?
No, because she
it
was
would
like,
die in the bag.
No, it'd be fine for a day.
That's what I
know
told her. Bust, listen, my wife's nuts. So we bought this. You
Shoulda
know,
ate it. You shoulda just swallowed it right in front of her.
Small.
And gagged it, puked it out.
You
like
think you would have
Steve-O.
puked it out?
Me?
I think you could have eaten it.
I don't think I could.
It's
like,
hard
to
drink
swallow.
It? I think I could drink a goldfish.
I'm good at puking.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I
but-
know I could drink a goldfish. I just don't know if I could puke it out.
We ever.
Why would you puke it out? Just leave it
Just
in.
to see if I could do it.
We interviewed a girl that makes money by just gagging down goldfish because it's a fetish to some people.
Oh.
You should do that for work.
Yeah,
I
she
think it pays
swallows
more
them.
than this stuff.
I'm sure it does.
But so anyway, we had the fish for a while, and finally our Dustin that he works up in Sanford, used to work at the radio station, had a koi pond, and we gave the goldfish to him. And I didn't know this, but goldfish will just continue to grow, and depending on their environment. So you put them in a giant tank, they will start growing bigger and bigger. And I remember he sent us a picture like a year later, and the goldfish were like, the 3 inches when they started out.
Yeah, maybe.
And they were probably 6 inches and weighed like a pound.
Yeah, they're huge.
And I was like, whoa! And then they'll continue to grow, and that's
then a
what
hurricane
koi fish
came and the power went off on the pump
Oh,
and everything.
dude,
And
no.
all of his fish died.
Old Samson.
Samson and Stanley.
Simpson.
I should have got you a goldfish for your birthday.
No, never give me that.
I
should
almost
get him
got
a
you.
pet.
I almost got you a bird.
Like a full
No, a
blue
little,
macaw.
just a little one, because
Oh.
I'm like, the boys will love it. Crystal can't get rid of it, and you'll be tortured. I was like, it's the perfect, it's the fucking perfect gift.
So apparently, I'm surprised it lived that long in a pond, but with shit in Kentucky, it gets cold as shit. You'd think it'd freeze in the winter.
Yeah, but
right?
fish live in lakes and stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
goldfish don't do well in. What
do you know?
I know, like he's a goldfish.
I talked to the guy.
Everything he says is with 100%
Samson
certainty.
Simpson died in the cold, didn't he?
No, I think it was just because there wasn't
Dirty
the water
water.
wasn't circulating.
No, I
Probably
think
your Castleberry water.
no.
That he died.
It was a cold freeze came in.
I
That's
think it
what
was
killed
because
him.
Jester dumped 4 Loco in his body. They all fucking died.
Anyway, that's a heartwarming story.
All
Is that it?
No, I got 2 more.
2 more? Because
Yeah.
we have a guest,
Let's
too.
do- let's do one more.
One more.
Yeah, pick
you
the best
want
one.
Football? We already talked about Colin Kaepernick. He could have made $20 million. He wanted to make $20 million to play in the AAF, but didn't happen. So
Another story, he just settled
Yeah.
with the NFL, undisclosed amount.
Probably made $20
but
million.
They just paid him off. They're
right.
like, we're done with this shit. We're just gonna pay this guy to go away.
That might have been a better story, but I'll read this one anyway. A man in Jamaica went to some extreme lengths to keep himself anonymous after winning more than $1 million in the lottery. You know, when
Yeah.
you win the lottery, you sometimes have to like go get it. And
Yes.
you go in front of
It depends on
cameras
the
and
state,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah,
guess
so
the
this is in
country,
Jamaica,
or-
and so I guess you got to do this in Jamaica. So he dressed up like the Scream guy
Yeah,
from the movie Scream.
he wore a Scream mask.
All right.
And when he went to go like do all the paperwork and everything, and they did the big press conference, he was just dressed as the guy who Scream.
All right.
And this
Yeah.
way, nobody knows who he is. So I just thought the photos were kind of fun.
I mean, like, did they release his name? or
No. His name is only identified as A. Campbell, so I don't know if that's his real name or not.
Yeah.
And he waited 55 days, and then when he went in, he dressed up like the killer from Scream.
I don't understand the
What
people
if it
that,
was the killer from Scream?
that want to be publicly known. Because there was a guy that I saw every once in a while. I'll watch like the monologue for Jimmy Kimmel, and he did during his monologue he interviewed like some guy who won the Powerball or the lottery or whatever, and he was on there talking about it and like talking about how like he's gonna quit his job, and he quit right when he won or whatever. And I was just like, why is he doing this? Like, what is in it for
Yeah.
him? He's already he got like $30 million, and it seemed like the Jimmy Kimmel Live probably didn't pay him. Like, he liked the publicity, but it's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna put yourself out there now. Everybody who knows you're gonna be fucking hitting you
It's
up,
the
right?
same reason why some people go on the nightly news or on the news. Like, why would you go on TV to say your opinion on something? It's because it doesn't happen to them every day, and so they're like, "Oh, I get to be on TV and famous." And
But
like, if somebody came knocking at your door, something happened in your neighborhood, and it was Channel 2, and they're like, "Would you comment?" You'd probably be like, "No, I'm good." But
No,
your neighbor,
I'll get on
You
it.
take
Yeah.
his shirt off, he'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
man,
Yeah. I
those
did this.
raccoons are going crazy."
I did this for for Pyrospot one time. Like, the news was there, like
Yeah.
doing their stock footage or whatever, and then the guy didn't like. I was just there getting free fireworks from Craig, like I do every year, and he was like, "Sir, do you mind being on the news?" I was like, "Oh yeah," and then I was like, because I know what they want, and then I just went on this huge thing about how I wanted to blow up the sky. I want to buy so much fireworks, and then the guy was so happy. He's like, yes, give me more. And then I was fucking giving him sound bites and all this shit. Like, went up the redneck thing like tenfold. And the guy's shaking my hand. He's like, you, sir, are unbelievable. They put it on the news, of course.
they
because
did.
I gave them what they want. And so I like that kind of stuff.
okay, all right. Well, not everybody's.
But
like that.
if I won the lottery, I fucking wouldn't tell anybody.
No.
Because you're just asking for the biggest hassle of your life with your family, friends, and everything. Andrew, if you won the lottery, you're not telling anybody, right?
Unfortunately, in the state of Florida, you have to
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
public.
That's true.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
In the state of Florida. Like, there's some states that you can stay anonymous, which awesome, but in the state of Florida, it has to become public. You don't have to do like a whole press conference
Yeah.
and stuff,
But your name will be
your
released.
name will be out there. You cannot stay anonymous.
Because it's public money. Because I think that's how they get the money
Gotcha.
for the lottery.
But you don't
Could you
have
change
to
your
be in the
name
news.
legally
You could.
immediately?
I think you could.
Yeah.
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 I mean, and you put it probably in a trust and everything. I mean, that's something that a lawyer.
he wouldn't.
No, all of
Buy
my
a bunch
checking
of crazy
accounts.
shit.
And my
Paul
wife.
Kramer.
mattress would be really high.
So many hot tubs. And so
But the
many
news
dirt
will
bikes.
report on it. I mean, I'm sure they will. If you won like some huge amount,
Yeah, it
of
depends
course
on-
they're going to report on that. But I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to have a press conference.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you probably already are halfway to the Bahamas or something by that time.
No, I just come into work. And
Where's
then-
Crystal gonna be?
No.
You're halfway to the
Well,
Bahamas.
she immediately takes half.
Divorce fans.
I mean, yeah.
I wonder if I can.
She can't get it if you're in the Bahamas. Though.
No, I know.
Oh, then she'd track you down.
Yeah,
Easy breezy.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Easy to find.
Yeah, you'd be on like literally standing at like the tourism bureau of the Bahamas.
And you hear TC.
Oh yeah.
Flip flopping.
Would you try to take your sons with you or no?
Oh my God! Now we're getting.
I feel like they'd hold me down in my new life.
You get
That's
some
true.
plastic surgery though. Look
Yeah.
at
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
different.
It's kind of hard to jet ski with two little jet skis. Not as fast. Not as fast.
I did real quick before one
Yeah.
thing. I did look up some birthdays that share with you. Some people that share their birthdays with you.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I'll
do
name
it.
just a few.
Okay.
Connor Obrist, lead singer of Bright Eyes.
All right. I've never even heard of that band.
You don't know who Bright Eyes is?
No.
Very
man.
sad, really
Emo.
slow.
Yeah,
okay,
super emo.
Yamir Yager, former NHL
Yeah.
player.
Okay.
That's a good
never
one.
even
Wasn't he a Red Wings?
I don't know if he ever was. He played for the Penguins. Was like his big one. He might have played for the Wings.
So two people I've never heard of.
Jane Seymour, Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
I've heard of Dr. Quinn, but
Galileo.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah, a famous astronomer. There weren't very many on the 15th. And Chris Farley.
Oh, that one ties in.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I?
Gonna die early.
Yeah. Why couldn't I have gotten that guy?
Died at 33, by the way. So you
Oh,
outlived him.
You beat him.
Oh, he did?
Isn't that not much of an
Yeah.
accomplishment?
Isn't that crazy sad to think about?
What's the age that? Oh, is that 27?
The 27
The curse
club.
of the 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought Chris Farley was younger than 33. Right.
33.
No, I always thought he was a little bit
Yeah.
older, but he's
Really?
not 33.
Damn.
Yeah, so sad.
That's hard living.
Let's bring in our guest because we talked to Busey about his Sausage Castle
Ways.
compound,
Yeah.
but we've never talked to someone who lived or now is living in the Sausage Castle.
She hasn't escaped.
Yeah, it's not a jail.
It sounds like a Netflix. Sounds like an upcoming Netflix documentary.
She's in
Escape from the
bathroom.
Sausage Castle.
And so we're going to interview
Surviving the
Vanessa.
Sausage Castle.
Returning guest.
Yeah, returning guest Anessa.
Yeah, you may know her from the Seth Petrozelli dating game.
Uh-huh.
And then
I wasn't here for that.
I feel like she's gonna make a really exciting entrance right now.
Right after that, she did a short stint in the joint for a machete
we're gonna talk about
incident. But now she's out.
Now
and
she's a
lit-
kid's
She's
performer.
out. You might remember her. I used to refer to as fart gas mask.
Yeah.
She had high-paying clients that would wear a gas mask and she'd fart into it.
And she'd step in your balls and different things.
Kick you in the taint.
Here's
Here's Anessa. How you doing? Hey, good to see you.
So
You can jump on that mic right there. Yeah, there's headphones behind you.
No, you don't really. You don't.
Yeah.
How?
It'll make it
first-
easier if you wear them.
Well, you can hear yourself.
Yeah, you can hear yourself.
So, how are you? First off.
I'm free and not in jail. So
Yeah. That's good.
Can you explain that a little bit? Can we talk about that a little bit?
what do you want to talk about?
Well, how long were you in?
I did 30 days this time.
Okay, that's not
This-
bad.
Not horrible. No.
As the man who's probably never done any days.
Yeah. Never been in jail.
Not yet. Not with that speeding ticket.
And we talked. I think we talked to you on the phone at least after you got out. It was a small indiscretion with your ex, and then there was a machete involved.
You macheted his hands off. Right?
I tried to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you did your time. And now
And you
you're
got
out,
and you're like, what am I gonna do? I got to put this fart gas mask behind me. The pussy
New life.
pump. I got hanging up my pussy pump.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna go live at Mike Busey's Sausage Castle.
Yes.
So
I was so happy when I heard him on here.
Okay, now how did that come about, and how does one start living at the Sausage
Good
Castle?
I think it's a
Well,
great
I'm not
question.
living there yet, but I've been there at least a few weeks.
Straight.
But you stayed there a while, right?
I did. So I heard him on you guys' show, and then I decided to message him on Instagram because I've got a little bit of followers and stuff. So I figured maybe he wanted to hang out, and I messaged him, and he hit me back, and he was like, "Yeah, come on, let's hang out." So I went over there, and I ended up getting sucked up into all that madness, and I think I was there for 4 days the first time.
All right.
And what did you see for those 4 days?
Well, within the
Probably
first-
things I have never seen and will never
I
see.
still would. I want Bustecker to live 1 week at the Sausage Fest.
yeah.
I think that'd be great for your videos.
They would love you.
Yeah,
sure.
They would love you.
There's
You're wearing
somebody
like
for everybody at the sausage.
You're
I'd
wearing
be
like
up
a
at
bun-
6 in the morning, like, come on, guys, let's make breakfast. Go
Yeah.
for a run.
They're up.
I
They're
made banana
up.
pancakes.
They're up because they haven't gone to bed, I assume.
Exactly.
So you go there, you start hanging out, and I'm sure there's. I mean, it's a compound, a gigantic compound.
So many people.
And
there.
there's a lot of people. Like when we went, I mean, there's people like pressure washing over here, working like in and out.
Then
his
there's like a guy
assistants.
playing basketball hoop game.
Mm-hmm.
There was
a
like
guy playing music.
Yeah, there's like 20 people, and half of them look like they are full-time residents there. So it's a constant, like everything's alive. So when you're there, you stay. Do you have to ask to sleep over, or you just grab a couch or a bed? Or
You pretty much just grab a couch or a bed if you're already there partying. You know, I mean, they will kick people out on certain nights. It depends on if it's a members' night or not.
Okay.
You know, they have their exclusive parties, and then they have their members' parties where everybody can come hang out and just do whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, eventually, you know, everybody's got to go.
Gotcha.
Stay there. So
now, what are some of the things you've seen in like your first 4 days partying there? Because we can only imagine like the craziest things go on, and how accurate is that, or is it more toned down than we think?
No, within the first 2 hours, I saw a midget getting his dick sucked by a hippie on a swing, and yeah, so that was the first 2 hours.
Yeah. Then that's right off the
How
bat.
did you know it was a hippie?
We know
she
the.
was like 45 and had a whole bunch of tattoos. She was cute, but she was older lady.
She's like, I love this little person, man.
Yes,
Please, man.
exactly.
Suck your dick. You're like, I don't know how you classify.
And was this going on just in public?
Yeah, is
we
it
were in Mike's room, and I think it was on his secret snap.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this was a more of a private.
Well, the
incident.
doors. I mean, it wasn't too private. There was like six people in there at least.
Yeah, and he's filming it for Snapchat. So yeah.
Was there somebody pressure washing?
There's somebody working 24/7 there all the time.
And now, for you,
no sleep there.
What are some of the things like if you do decide, like, say, hey, I want to make this my life and live here?
Yeah,
I
this
know
is my calling.
I know Busey. Like, if you want to live
talked
there,
to him a couple days ago.
it's kind of like Fight Club House. You know, everybody has to have a job to.
Yeah. You got to earn your keep for sure.
Is it like that?
It is like that. Everybody's got something to do. You have to be, productive, but at the same time, everybody's getting fucked up and partying, and
Yeah, except for him though. He looks like he pretty, straight and narrow. Like he seemed like he hold it together. Pretty good.
I don't know if he's too straight and narrow.
Well, he. I know he doesn't smoke weed or do drugs.
He doesn't. He's lit without all that. He does drink, but he's super lit without the alcohol, without the weed.
Now, what would your job be if you decide to live there full time?
I'd probably be the in-house full-time twerker. The big
okay.
booty.
Full-time twerker. That's
very important.
You slide your resume on his desk and like,
My greatest weakness is I twerk too much.
He's gonna check your references.
I'm very sorry.
So there is
people call me a twerkaholic.
There's
though.
a position for that. For instance, you could.
There's a position for everything there.
Oh,
Was there another twerker there that you had to like, beat out?
Yeah, there's multiple. There's multiple girls there. There's at least.
Right on the mic.
No, you just gotta use the mic. Yeah.
That's what he's pointing at.
Sorry.
You can hold it in
not
your hand
telling
if
you,
it's.
you can
I don't really want to hold it.
Okay.
I'd rather hold this, but.
Yeah, I gotcha.
There's multiple girls there. I think there's like 6 or 7 girls there, and they're all beautiful.
Yeah.
24/7 nakedness, twerking all
Were
over
you
the place.
naked?
I was.
All right.
I did get naked. I did twerk all over the place there. I've got videos on Instagram.
Did you bring your pump or the gas mask?
I let that go. I left
okay.
that behind.
I wanted you to fart up Busdecker's head. Put the gas mask on and fart a big one in there. Big Chef Boyardee beefaroni. Big one.
I'm gonna only pull that out with Mike in private.
Now, let me ask you this: what? I don't know if you have one. Maybe you're just living it up while you can. But what's the long-term plan as far as you live
your
at
5
the
year?
Sausage Castle? What? What's your plan? That's what. What's going on here?
Well, once you get to a certain level of partying, you've pretty much done it all, and that you just continue on.
Oh, you go clear after
when
that.
do you? Yeah, exactly.
You go back sober after that. You go to get a 9 to 5.
Ultimate Thaydon level 9. Or whatever. When do you hang up your fart gas mask?
I'd say maybe when I'm about 50.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, because the lady there that was sucking the midget stick, she was probably about that age.
Yeah. There's no.
Wait a minute. Is this the girl that always sucks all the dicks?
Yeah.
I forget her name. She's like something.
I don't remember her name either.
It's like
something the cum queen or something.
Yeah.
You show up, she's like a new dick. I want.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, what else have you seen at the Sausage Castle? Like, there's got to be downtime where everybody's just
no,
like
really,
no. There's very little downtime. Like even 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, everybody's still drinking. Like, oh, pass me a shot. It's 8 o'clock. You might sleep for a couple hours here or there, but as soon as you wake up, you're back at it. You're in the pool. You're in the hot tub. You're doing Sausage Castle wrestling. That's another thing that they do there. That's
they've started wrestling lately.
Oh
they're doing wrestling.
Whoa.
I just imagine that you'd get tired. I don't know how Busey does
it. There's no time to get tired. You're just constantly awake and constantly going and drinking and partying and just go. There's always somebody coming through.
Cocaine.
No.
Well, there's got to be an ending. I mean,
there's no ending.
You can only.
I'm kind of with Tom.
You can only party for so long.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the horniest person I know.
Dude, on the cruises, I'm pretty much partying the whole time.
At the end of a cruise, I'm like, I'll never drink again.
Yeah, you're not sleeping.
I'm believing in God. I'm like, please, God, I promise I will never drink again.
Nope.
And then I get home from the cruise. I'm like, that's it. I'm changing my life. That's how it happens.
Was there anything
and
you
it's not
saw
even
there
that crazy.
that was shocking to you at all?
Don't blow up a spotter.
Yeah. I mean, like.
Well, I've had a few. Okay. So one thing that goes on there's a lot of celebrities and social media stars that come through all the time.
Daddy Longneck. Did you meet him?
I did meet Daddy Longneck.
Oh.
I met him. He came through, but I won't say his name. But there was another social media star that's really big, millions of followers.
Blippi.
No.
Blippi was shitting on my tits.
No, but he licked my ass on camera. So. Right.
So
on the swing. So.
Well, I feel like you saying his name.
Here we go.
Thank you, Blippi.
Well,
that's how he started.
I like how you're like, I want to save him the embarrassment of saying his name, but he did lick my ass on camera.
He happily did it, but I'm
on camera. Was it on the Snapchat?
No.
It was just in for your own private collection.
Oh, okay.
Look at this guy licking my ass.
Was it a big time social media? So okay, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people go through there.
I don't even think I would know who it is though. Like
You
with
probably
social
would.
media, I don't like.
You probably
But I've
would.
gone to those like social media.
You don't know who the
conventions. I don't know who any of them
influencers are.
Yeah, I'm too old though, and I'm not hip. So
well, there's
you do reach a point where you kind of disconnect from that. I mean, like me and Tom are trying to stay on top of it. Like I had to show you who like wide neck and daddy long neck. Now there's a white guy who's got a wide neck.
No.
And he's white wide neck.
Oh, there's white.
Yeah,
and black
there's
wide
black
neck.
wide neck and then white wide neck.
But I'm gonna. Maybe I could pay you to do a
Supreme Patty
investigation
Shrimp Gang
journalism like update on Daddy Longneck, because now I follow him on Instagram just to look at it and be like, what?
And he like fell off for a little bit. He was like gone for like a month.
I almost broke his legs twerking on him.
Oh really? Yeah, he's
so
very
little.
skinny. Yeah, he's
so
very
little.
skinny.
I was scared. He was like, no.
Yeah, you can't hurt him.
No.
And
he's got his new tattoo that says "lick here," pointing to his neck.
Bussecker, you have to follow him on Instagram just to see that, like he comes out with these videos and they're
He's private, I think.
No.
Is he back public?
I don't know.
Something happened. You know, I know there was.
I think he's private.
Yeah, there was something that happened. Like he's going through some things.
No, really.
Yeah.
But he does these videos. They're like skit videos, and they all
involve him like squishing sour cream in his tits.
Yeah. And they. Let's just say nonsense.
It's a little, yeah.
And then I'm looking, and this got like 890,000 views and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my God. And I don't know. I'm fascinated with how long it could last. Like, because now I'm thinking it could just go on forever. Like as long as he keeps his,
he's gaining,
his neck
like,
clean.
I'll tell you this. I saw. No, seriously. I saw.
like
I
he
saw
doesn't
from
dabble in
one
it.
weekend to the next. I saw from like a Friday to another Friday free show when we were talking about it. He gained 1 million followers.
Oh.
He went from like 1.1 million to 2.1 million.
Yeah.
In a week. That's insane.
It's I mean, we've talked about it enough. I know people are tired about it, tired of hearing it, but it is just a fascinating phenomenon that's happening in the world where these people just have this incredible fame on social media, and really they not really have an exceptional talent of any sort, and maybe just be like have some sort of weird look about them.
We've been in this mode for the last 20 years. I mean, look at like Paris Hilton. You know,
but
we were like, why is she famous? You know, but remember the old question? Everybody would say that. Like, I don't understand why she's famous. But, you know, like, what does she do?
But I understand
the question everybody would ask.
Though you could argue she's like a model.
Agree, but I'm just saying, like, we've been in that same phase of it's not like she was.
But she's heir to the Hilton fortune and stuff, so that's something everybody like. Oh, I know what Hilton hotels are.
Well, this guy's to me, this guy's more impressive. You get a big long neck.
But
you know what I mean? Like that's a special fucking thing.
But how many people on Instagram
being gifted money by your parents? That's a special thing. Having a giant long giraffe neck. That's fucking. That's a thing.
I know not everybody has 1 million followers or 2 million, but how many do? How many people have 1 million followers on Instagram?
That's a good question.
100,000?
I don't know.
50,000?
A lot at this
Probably
point,
a lot. There are some girls I don't even know who they are.
Exactly.
And they'll have 1 million just because they put their ass out there all the time.
Exactly. So then the question is, well, like, you know, what's the big deal if you have 1 million followers? How many do you need to be influential?
Well,
is 1 million enough?
Yes, it is, and it depends on the engagement. Like, okay, you have 1 million followers, and then say whatever video you put up, it gets X amount of views. Like, say every video gets 100,000 views. That's enough to, by far, make a lot of money from a lot of different companies. And
is that something you want to do?
I already kind of do that, but I already have my website and stuff going on, so
What do you-
my Instagram gets a lot of views anyways.
What's your Instagram handle so I could?
It's at
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, it's at Anessa, ANESSAXXOO.
I know them.
Goddamn
Get it?
ANN. What is it now?
No.
ANESSAXXOO.
1 N 2 S.
But what I was getting at, every day there's another person who's reaching 1 million followers.
Yeah.
Right?
So
every single
You're
day.
growing every day. If you do social media on a regular basis,
You got 108,000 followers?
Yeah, she has a ton of followers, man.
How much to, promote Tom and Dan? Like, what if
I'm promoting you guys right now? You don't even know it.
All right.
Oh my God, I'm farting in a gas mask right now. You don't even know it.
But how much do you charge for that kind of thing?
I don't even really charge for it. I just post what I want to post. Like, I will let people pay me for a certain promo, but I have a certain type of brand. And
You also don't want to fuck
certain
that out because it ruined your brand.
Exactly. Like, I'm not just going to post you if you want to pay me. Like, it has to be something that I like, that I...
Well, if they wanted to pay you a lot. Like, what if Fleshlight came to you and like, hey, we want to pay you...
But I already do sex videos, so Fleshlight, that would be something that I would typically promote, something like
that. What if Cheerios came to you? I
Put these Cheerios in Fleshlight.
Sure.
I
like to eat.
Their vice president of marketing may be fired after, but what is against your brand? That's all I'm saying. No offense, but like, what do you draw the line
I'm not
at?
gonna promote diapers or like kid stuff, obviously.
What if Pampers came to you and they're like, "Hey, we want you to wear
Shit
these
in this diaper."
I draw the line there.
10 grand? You do it for 10 grand.
All right, sure.
Okay, well, you don't draw a line that hard. There's money to price for everything. I'm interested in how well it works because this is where no one knows.
Here we go.
Because for instance, let's take our advertising. Let's say so with the amount our advertising works better than other media entities that may have more listeners per capita. Then that's hard to prove, but I think our advertising works better because our listeners are more engaged.
Well, the level of engagement is higher.
Higher. So let's say you advertise with a company that has proven, it's hard to prove though, like 1 million listeners. And then I would say our advertising works better with X amount of listeners, way less than 1 million. Or even if you ran a billboard for a month on I-4, you could say, they'll tell you it's going to have, X amount of impressions in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Our advertising may work better than that billboard, even though that billboard's way more expensive than our advertising. So it all kind of works like that. But so for you got 100,000 followers, and your followers are obviously interested in your posts. A lot of them being, I notice you're private now. I've requested you.
I added you.
Okay. Let me
I added you.
I want to see some of your posts here so I can talk about
I'm
it.
sure you do, Tom.
But
the last few posts
Doing
are at
research.
Mike Busey's house, so you'll see at least the last 6-9 posts are at Mike Busey's
I
house.
follow
Tom, if you
too,
were smart,
just so I know what Tom's
you would do
looking
what
at.
you would do what the female BDMs have been asking for years. You make booty shorts, Tom and Dan booty shorts, get her to twerk in them, pay her for it. That's great advertising.
how much money? Now, great advertising, I guess you get the brand out. But if you're like, hey, sign up to become a BDM, I can look and see, like, all right, since you made that post, how many new BDMs would you get? I'm interested, like, really, how many new BDMs? Like
I have BDMs on my site, on my website.
Oh, I'm sure you do, because we talked about you before. And I had guys like, hey, what's your name? You know, and they're like, I can't give that out.
It's interesting in the direct correlation to...
Not going to lead to somebody's murder.
My followers definitely have a type. Like, if that's why I have to be picky about what I post in promo, because they do have a type. I can post a girl, and if she doesn't look kind of close to me, or if she's not banging, they're not going to follow her, and you just paid for promo for nothing.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why I have to be picky about who pays.
So I notice a theme to your
what's the theme
to your posts here. A lot of butt,
ass.
a lot of butt. And then
Can you put anything on Instagram, or is there
Nope.
like a?
No.
And I added you too, by the way.
Thank you
So
so much.
there's some sort of.
Can you even say
rules
butt?
to
What do
it.
you guys call it in your house?
Pee-pee.
How dare you?
Wait.
Boo boo. Boo boo pee pee. What do you call boobies?
Titties. That is where I go opposite.
I've always wanted my
unconventional.
daughter. I've always wanted my daughter to tell her teacher. She's like, I gotta take a shit. You know, like, I think it's funny.
trucker.
Like when little kids are like, oh, gotta take a grunt. You know, like I want her to use like something horrible. You know.
So
I gotta squeeze one out.
I'm just interested in because
Oh,
everybody.
Bo Fat Nuts says he already follows you on our
Both
Twitch.
of these nuts.
Oh, both of these nuts? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'll say Bo Fat Nuts.
Because
He's an OnlyFans member.
For instance, Bustecker did an awesome BDM video for us.
Thank you.
Right?
That is the
He did.
first time Tom has ever complimented me.
It's because he doesn't believe it.
I'm about to
He's
shit on
sent
it.
you back he sent you back to the drawing board how many times?
Oh, no. That's editing.
100
That's the process.
times.
So, and then
He treated you like somebody on Fiverr.
and then we did an experiment, and we asked. I asked some of our social media friends, including Busey, which was nice enough to repost that on
He
his
was.
Facebook.
He did
Yeah.
indeed.
know that.
Yeah,
And
he's a
then
good
Tuttle. I reached out to everybody who I knew. I tried Jimmy. He declined.
Of course, Mr.
Right,
Trump himself.
and so we put it out there, and it's got over 10,000 views now.
Yeah.
Although if I go to our BDM, if we go to Stripe and log in, we could see exactly how many new BDMs signed up from the inception of the video from now.
Yeah.
And I believe we didn't have any.
Right.
So
Well, it's you gotta wait till payday.
is that what it is?
Gotta wait till they get their taxes back.
Now,
Yeah.
no matter what, it's still, and the overall idea of it works because, okay, we know for a fact 10,000 plus people clicked on the video and were exposed to why you're shaking your head. Is that not true?
No, you can be scrolling if it's playing. That's
Yeah.
counts.
Oh, okay.
it doesn't
because-
matter.
Well,
Maybe if you embraced Walmart a little bit more, we'd have more videos.
But it's better than 500.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah.
So-
and it's
But
the
sometimes
shares
500
too.
gets more.
and then the eyes were on the BD.
It's
So
the
anyway,
brand.
it's getting the brand out.
Yeah.
But what is that really worth? It's hard to tell for
Totally.
anybody, you know.
Oh,
It's like
totally.
it's hard to put a monetary thing. Now, if I look back and we're like, oh, I know for a fact we had 79 BDM sign up at that point, then you could put a monetary value, but it doesn't work like that.
Well,
It's
Vanessa,
just
let me
weird.
ask you this. Are you able to only do Instagram and just live off of that? Or do you have to work a
Instagram-
job too?
I don't work a job.
See, there you go.
I don't work a job. I do strictly social media.
So you do
and
social
videos.
media and then videos and maybe your website if you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to dance. Like last year, I did a lot of dancing
Yeah.
and like in real life stuff.
Sure.
But eventually, my social media got.
But you can do like private videos, right? Like if a guy
I
said,
do
"Hey,
custom.
I want," how much
I
is
do
a custom video if you don't mind me asking?
Minimum starting at $50 for 3 to 4 minutes.
Oh,
So 3 minutes, you bounce in your ass, and then maybe you'll say my name a couple times. All right.
Is that what you did for my birthday?
I didn't want to tell you.
Because
You know how hard it was for my wife to get that on a VHS cassette for you?
You brought up a thing
I
that
want your boys getting
I
to it.
don't think a lot of our listeners even know about, but and this is huge within the porn actress business, and they'll customize videos for the fans that want that.
Yeah.
And
like clips for sale.
yeah. And then so dudes will be like, hey, I will pay you X amount of money, and the more popular the porn star, the more amount of money.
Yes.
So you got dudes paying them a couple $1,000 to $10,000 for.
Can you say the most you've ever been given for a video or for a custom?
The most for one video?
Yeah.
300,
Wow,
400,
that's
400.
good money.
Yeah, and that's for what?
5 to 10 minute video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good money.
Good, yeah.
My God.
And then, so if you're willing to do this stuff, there's money to be out there. Basically,
I'll jack off for 3 minutes on camera for $300.
Social media has created this world that's like really no rules to how you can monetize it, and people of all sorts are making money off it. And God, man, I'm just astonished by the.
You don't have to look good to do it.
What? Yeah. You
Why are you saying that to Tom?
How dare you?
On his birthday. On his birthday.
Tom, do some twerking videos. You can make some extra cash.
I know. Yeah. Listen, I'm not above any of this.
You want to see me touch my pee-pee? Oh, yeah. How about my boo-boo?
What if you guys?
I got my thumb in my boo-boo. I'm stroking my pee-pee.
What if you guys you stumbled across? I was doing this on the side.
I'm gonna pee-pee so hard right now. I got my thumb in my boo-boo and I'm about to wipe pee everywhere.
Come on. So now.
Oh no!
Come on.
He doesn't make noise.
That's right.
So what have you ever done any other brands as far as, like I said, with the podcast? And what kind of say, what if you did post on your you got 108,000 followers? That's a lot of people.
That is a lot.
If you did post like, hey, this is my favorite podcast, Tom and Dan, go listen to them.
Well, I don't even know if we are a favorite podcast.
No, but I pay you to do this, so it's But do you?
I mean, I know she listens, but I wouldn't want to ask her that.
I'm just curious, like, how many of your followers would actually, because here's the thing, they are following you for a reason. Then there's a reason. That's the content they want to absorb.
Yeah, but the content they want is her.
That's what I'm saying.
Not us.
Yeah.
I would have to do a twerk video with Tom. I'd have to give him a lap dance or something. And then
I guess
be
that's
like,
gonna have to
It is my birthday.
My birth.
He's a baby.
It is my birthday. Let me get my pee-pee out. All right. Take one for the team. Oh, yeah.
That would get their attention, and they'd be like, okay.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, oh, maybe this podcast is about twerking, and then they see it and they'd be horribly disappointed.
Look at her writing this very young-looking alcoholic.
Yeah. So you kind of have to tailor it to, and it makes sense, I guess. I guess I'm just fascinated with, like, just because someone has.
You didn't know she had that many followers?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I
was
thought you knew
surprised.
that.
I didn't know anything.
I thought you knew that.
No,
because
was
I
surprised.
actually thought I already followed you on Instagram, but my Instagram's been unfollowing people for some reason.
It does.
I think a lot of people's have been doing
Because
that.
I know I followed
It's
you.
weird.
I know I followed you before because we messaged
did.
each other on there. That's weird.
Yep, it does that.
Why does it do that?
I don't know. I don't understand any. I also
Instagram's
I just hit. I'm proud of this because I've been working on it and trying to do better content for the show. I'm trying to grow our Instagram, but the only one I have control of is mine. So I hit 10,000. I was like, well, that's great. I can use the swipe up feature if I change it to a business account, which is great, which is what I wanted to do. That was the whole goal before Christmas. You knew I'd put this in place.
Yeah.
So to achieve that, I was like really happy about it. So I hit like 10.1, then I hit 10.2 like on Monday, and then on Tuesday I went back down to 10.1. I lost like 200 people, and then other people were talking about this.
Yeah, there was a glitch earlier this week.
Okay. Well, I'm back up to 10.2. I'm like, what the fuck is happening with this thing?
Yeah.
I don't even understand
Instagram's
it.
bootleg as hell. That's why you have to have backup for everything. And Twitter
Most porn
and
stars have a
Snapchat.
backup. They're
We
like,
have
this isn't my normal one. This is my backup.
What do you mean backup?
I have a backup for it's $35K.
Yeah, you got to have a backup.
So just in case, like, your
take you
main
down.
gets taken down, then you switch to your backup. I don't know. Why would they take you down?
It doesn't matter any kind of, like, they do it to regular
Content.
YouTube stars.
Yeah.
They do it to anybody. You can just randomly get taken down.
Huh.
Yeah, and then you got to contact them, try to get it back up. Sometimes you get it back up, sometimes you won't.
Oh, it's a whole process.
Really?
This is my 4th page. I've been up to 178K and been deleted with, like, no.
178?
With no
70,000 more.
Wow. Now, if your primary
I know
source,
you can count. I just
here's an interesting question.
Why I said that.
If your primary source of income is this, and then Instagram deletes you
got to look
without
at their contract. I'm sure there's something in there about like go fuck yourself.
Their company.
I know, but without cause, could you go after them and be like, "Hey, I was making $100,000 a month, and now you've deleted me. I'm going to sue you."
No,
they don't have any contract with you.
No.
a free service.
It's a free service.
They have terms of service.
But what if you didn't violate their terms of service
Doesn't
and they
matter.
decided to
Doesn't matter.
delete you?
Yeah, it's almost like right to work state type shit.
Yeah,
it's like fuck you.
I don't know. I would say that you'd have a case saying that, like, why did you delete me? That
I
was
mean,
my
imagine.
income.
Okay, she says she's just living off of this brand and doing her thing, which more power to you. I'm happy for you. I think that's fucking awesome. But if that thing goes awry and you lose all 108, I mean, that's gonna fucking ruin your night.
With your whole,
Yeah.
with your whole company.
See, that to me is fascinating. Like, look at somebody like Jake Paul. You know, you got a guy like, who goes and does something that people don't like, right? And then all the backlash from that, and let's say they deleted his YouTube account or whatever. I don't think they did, but let's say they did. I mean, that literally, you could go from being a millionaire to being worthless. Literally nothing.
Well, I would say, what about the company that handles all of our subscriptions for BDMs? Could that company just delete us off of there and then ruin our entire?
Yes.
Don't you pay for that?
No, but we do pay a percentage. So based on the
Yeah.
contract we have with them, they'd have to give us a certain amount of time to switch to somebody else.
Because we pay them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
we got skin in the game.
I wonder if Instagram or
You have skin in the game too, but it's big booty skin. Good
Well,
booty skin.
the Snapchat, you have to pay to be able to get the service of the.
I think that's third party. I think you pay to be able to get added because remember, they have to add you. So let's say I went to her website and I said I want to be added to her private Snapchat. She would then give me the name of the private Snapchat. Am I getting this right?
Correct.
And then I would pay third party. So I get the money.
So it's not Snapchat.
It could still get killed, which is why you would be
Yes.
able to go somewhere else, add everybody. It'd be a lot of work for you, but you'd be able to control it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
This
It's a
shit
new
is
world,
the
man.
Wild West.
It's
to
gonna
me,
be
man.
this is gonna be the norm to your boys.
Oh yeah. And they'll
And my daughter too. I mean, oh my God, my daughter.
Well, how long?
Jesus Christ.
She's gonna climb in the coffin anyway. With you.
I hope so. I hope so.
How long do you see yourself living at the Sausage Castle?
Oh well, once I move in.
Are you trying to move in now?
Yeah, I'm trying to move in.
You have to wait till someone moves out.
No,
Or dies.
Nope. They just pile everybody in. But
Do you get your own bedroom or not?
It depends. I think it
I
depends.
think you got to work your way up. You got to be there.
Yeah, you do have to work your way up. I know they put all the girls. There's like a whole bunch of girls in one room. They call it, I think, the chicken coop. But but yeah, either way, he told me I could move in. I have animals and stuff, so
like chickens and llamas.
Tom will take him. His wife's an animal lover. What do you got?
You want a dog?
You
I
got
have
a
another dog.
twerking pit bull?
You know what? You guys can. I have a really cute little Pomeranian. Do you want him?
Tom wants a Pomeranian.
no,
Tom wants a. Tom wants a.
Bring him over.
Big booty dick sucking
yeah,
Pomeranian.
So
that dog is twerking.
You have to get rid of it because
I don't have to, but he's just so.
I'd get rid of my dog to go suck a midget's dick.
Yeah, thank
Come
you.
on,
You know
don't
what I'm
say the
saying?
M word.
No, they like that. Remember?
Oh, my wife's here. Hi, babe. Popped in the room. She popped in, always ruining my fun.
Well, Anessa, thanks for giving us the
Every time
update.
you come in, you peel the curtain back a little bit, and we're like, "Oh my god!" And then Tom's eyes light up.
Yeah.
You're fascinated by this. This
Well,
is your birthday
I
gift.
just go home a boring. What
What are you gonna do tonight, buddy?
Boring old fat dad.
One of the BDMs actually requested that I give you and your wife a threesome
Oh,
for
really?
your birthday.
Well,
for your birthday.
What about
Let's get my
eight
wife
more
on the phone.
hours?
Yeah. My wife is gonna be here soon.
Oh.
and then,
Any minute.
Surprise,
I'll watch your
Tom.
boys. I
That
can
was
watch
a
your boys. You
BDM
can do it.
request.
You can do it right here on the red couch.
So if we did have a threesome, what would be?
yeah, describe how this would go down.
So do I? Okay, I convince my wife. I'm like, hey, listen.
I know.
For my
I've had her on the show
birthday-
twice. She's vetted.
Yeah,
The
she's
only
cool,
thing I
bro.
want for my birthday.
Yeah.
Here's a
Yeah.
coupon.
Hey, Butler, can you bring me a beer? It's getting good in here.
And so I convince her, and then what? She'd
You
probably.
dropped your pen. You didn't even want to pick it up. He is. He's getting nervous.
How would you
spoon
convince
air.
her? Like, what would you say?
Thank you, Butler.
I would probably have to. Make this elaborate hoax that I've been diagnosed with some sort of, terminal disease.
All right.
And this was my last wish.
Yeah.
The birthday balloon that Butler got you floating behind you is so awesome.
And so she may, to provide me with my dying wish, do this. Although
I'll watch your boys.
she may
They can play
not
with
want to be
Maisie.
involved.
I'll take him to SeaWorld.
No, take him to Discovery Zone.
Yeah. They have to leave the house.
Oh yeah. Well, we're doing it at your house.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going all the way.
No,
to
you got to go to the
Sausage
sausage castle. They got the whips and the sex swings.
Yeah, baby steps for Tom.
Yeah. I guess
Well,
they're comfortable.
He's got the hot tub and the Liberator.
the wedge.
No,
Oh, the
Did you
wedge.
get a new one
Sorry.
yet?
No. He said it looks like the. What did you say? It looks
He
like the
can do a
mat.
trip
Of
to
the,
Fair Villa.
the mat is the milkshake factory.
The roof of San Quentin.
Yeah, you need a new one.
Oh yeah, I do.
And
now
that's child's play to her. You think she ain't seen a wedge
I don't
before?
need a wedge. I don't need a wedge.
Yeah.
Now, Nessa, based
Her whole behind is a wedge.
I know, yeah. Based on your pictures, I'm not sure I could handle that because
That's a bucking bronco, brother.
yeah.
I don't think either of us. I don't think
know.
anybody in this room.
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
sans this guy. He might.
Nerd guy like me.
I think used car salesman over here. Handle it.
Yeah, I think I'd.
You remind me of Joey Chitwood, who used to be the president of
the sheriff of.
Oh, no, you're talking about Mike Chitwood.
He's Volusia County Sheriff.
Yeah, Volusia County Sheriff.
Oh, Joey's the.
He used to be.
He's his brother.
Yeah, he's out now. They got a new guy in.
No, really?
Yeah, they got rid of Joey Chitwood. But yeah, I'm looking at your badonk, and I don't know what you would do with this, dude.
Yeah. I guess I have only been with one woman, so I have very limited
Oh,
experience.
how
would you start this?
This would be the saddest thing.
Would you start?
I just tie him up. I just have to tie
Would
him
you
up.
start with his wife in order to try and excite him a little bit? That's what I would
definitely.
suggest.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay,
Start
let's
up
just
slapping her
She's
titties
hot.
a
I
little
like
bit.
her.
She'd never be part of this, so it'd probably just be me.
Well, what is she doing? Is she with me at Discovery Zone? I don't want that.
All I know
She'd
is
be
that
down.
Why do you get to fuck her and I'm at Discovery Zone getting yelled at?
we sit at the corner of my bed. The most awkward situation you could possibly think
That's what I was
of.
gonna say. Could you even
Are
get
you
it up
sitting
with
in
being
your
that
underwear?
awkward?
I'm frozen in fear.
In pain, I thought you were going to say frozen in pain.
And then I'm like, can I kiss you?
Oh, God,
I almost just fucking freaked out. I got goosebumps.
man.
Not in a good way.
Hey, look, nobody can ever say this guy doesn't let them eat cake. I mean, he gives them what they want.
And then we're awkwardly making out because
Very
I'm
turned on at this point.
I'm not a good kisser because of my lack of experience.
Let me bang my teeth against your teeth. Hold on, let me peck the birdseed.
Then
put on some more cherry chapstick.
Then I'm the commander in it with my hands on my hips, so it's dead silent.
Well, you
anyway,
went
it
right
won't
to
be a
that. No,
pleasant
you guys got to
experience.
do. You could get to do.
I don't know.
You do a 69.
69 first.
I think
Yeah,
standing.
Smother him with my ass.
See,
But
I'm upside
he
down.
likes to be on top. During 69.
No, I like you
Right?
standing, and you're holding me up. It's the Gravitron.
She's holding you up.
Yeah. I'm upside down, and it's very hard and awkward.
Yeah.
Then I start crying after. I'm like, no, my sons. I start crying about my sons. I'm like, I've ruined my life.
Too late. They're riding Manta with me. Riding Manta.
Yeah. This is.
Would Crystal come pick you up?
No, he's at his own house.
Oh,
So she drives away. And he's just sitting there in the dark.
yeah. I'm like,
And how does that conversation? Do the boys run in? And they're like,
yeah. No, yeah.
How soon after do you die?
I got to let a bug bomb off in my room, just to,
It smells like sex in here. I miss that. It used to smell like sex back when I was young. You
Yeah.
get done fucking, and you walk back in the room, it smells like sex. Now I get done, it smells like fucking vapor rub.
Oh my God.
Tiger bomb.
all right, Anessa, we appreciate it. If you want to follow Anessa on her Instagram, it's Anessa XXOO. You'll find it. It's the ass.
Yeah, it's the first one that pops up.
Yeah.
Just look for the
You'll
butts.
What else do we got? Oh, if you are a small business or have any IRS problems, I know it's tax season. KDK Accountancy Corporation. I met with Bernie the other day. It was great.
Nice transition.
I know.
Excellent segue.
I saw it on my list and I just had it.
Why don't you talk about Steve's dinner that he's going to be the guest of honor for the Boy Scouts?
The Boy Scouts.
You want to go to the guest of honor at Steve's Boy Scout dinner?
It's free admission, by the way.
It's going to be at the Popka Community Center, VFW.
Not quite the same as a sausage
March
casserole.
13th, Wednesday. There it is. Where do I go for details? You gotta call Steve. You know his number.
Call Steve. Go get dinner at Porky's and ask him.
Yeah.
Oh, my stars.
All right. That's gonna be it.
That's gonna happy birthday, buddy.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday to Tom. Guys, thanks so much for listening. TomandDan.com for all things Tom and Dan. Get our app. Spread the word. Watch our video that Bustecker did for us for BDM. Sign up to be a BDM. Anything else?
Yeah, and if you do sign up to be a BDM in the next couple weeks, we're in the final stages of planning a BDM only party. And that is a party just for BDMs.
Yeah.
You and a guest get to come. We usually give out something free, provide some cool thing. So if you want to be a part of that, just sign up on tomanddan.com.
Please do. BDM's listeners, we love you guys. Best listeners in the world. And we will see you next week. Bye, Twitch. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you Monday.